get some toothpicks, boy, bring them down. Had enough meat to make another sandwich when I picked out of the teeth. Oh, we live, man.
For real, like the instant when you get a chance. Like the instant when you get a chance.
When you're dealing with only 15 teeth.
Stop playing, boy. I gotta know. You know what? I got a new vacancy up in here.
Yes, sir.
I got one ready to go at any moment.
Takes some getting used to.
All it takes is an apple, a good apple, he go.
Look here. Hey, you looking like your tongue in jail, won't it?
Yeah.
Who's that? They messing with me. What, boy?
He know he got to talk, so he trying to hurry.
This nigga, boy, you do that quick. I don't want food flying on the counter. We don't have a whole show.
Like that fly I got missing, that's a gift.
We ready to go too, bye?
Yes, sir. Like that fly on Prince's head.
Right. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Y'all know how we do it. There's only us in here. A few more will probably be dropping through, but y'all, we're going to go ahead and get it started. Y'all know how we do. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. Men ought to uncover. Women ought to cover when praying or prophesying within the assembly.
That's right.
Y'all, we're going to hold our hands up high as it's recorded in 1 Kings 8, also 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 8. And y'all, we're going to get the Most High. We want him to lift us up. All praises to the Most High.
All praise. We'll get this opening prayer, and it's with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach. And we know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 8th chapter, it reads, Yahweh, our Master, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who has set thy glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, and thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars, which thou hast ordained.
That's right.
What is man, that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man, that thou visitest him? For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. Thou madest him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, yea, and the beast of the field, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the paths of the seas. O Yahweh, our Master, how excellent is thy name in all the earth.
Hallelujah! Say that!
Yes, sir.
Yeah, boy, y'all trying to get that out in the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that must have been Big Mike coming in there with that.
How you doing, bro? I just shot him in there. All right, good seeing y'all.
All praise, all praise.
All right, y'all know how we get down, y'all. We got any pertinent questions or concerns, because we've been going the whole week. Anything on your heart, mind, or soul that we can get right to, instant in season. If not, we'll point you to a already recorded class, you know, because we don't want to waste too much time if we don't have to. But whatever's on your heart, mind, and soul, we want to make sure that your soul is satisfied, so to speak.
That's right.
So if we don't have that, anything like that, y'all, we're going to get rolling on today's class called Yah's Word to the Stars. Y'all, in the last days we've been reading, it's going to be perilous times, and craft shall prosper. So y'all, as we continue on this journey of no idol worshiping of any kind and related to the Most High, that he needs his ordinances that he created to glory to be given to them. Just like bro just read out of that Psalm 8th chapter. That's powerful. It said he was given power over all the planet Earth, everything, heaven. Adam was just given power over the entire earth, but the Messiah was given power over heaven and earth. And it said it was given to him, and he was made a little lower than the angels, just like Hebrews chapter 2 speak of. So y'all, today, anything out there yet too about?
I just got a text from
Go
said that his sister passed away last Thursday. Yahweh, you know, if you see him, he came in through me, and he come here with his bread, with his children.
Oh, well, may the Most High have mercy.
Yeah, we were just prayers to him and his family.
On that ark and on his family, and may they find some comfort, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a hard thing in this, y'all. 2020 is exploding, ain't it? I mean, and it ain't like, you know, people didn't die in 2019. It's just the fact that it's ramping up so much with everything that's going on. Death is being pushed forward, so to speak, especially if you got anything hurting you during this pandemic, y'all, because it's jumping on bad health, y'all. So it's not, if it's going to attack you, as if your immune system say, get out of here. So y'all, with that, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get things. Anything else, Uriah?
No, while you said that, though, there would be concerns from us about whether or not we would be forced to take this vaccine. And the governor, Parson, already said that Missouri will not force you to take this vaccine. So we got our prayers answered right up front.
Yes, sir. Well,
So
that's in Missouri.
To go through. Yeah, that's in Missouri. So we know we here at home, that's something we're not going to have to deal with, because he's already said it, that he's not going to force that vaccine on anybody.
Well, he couldn't have forced it if he wanted to,
Right.
you know, because it's law. Like I say, you know, main thing, y'all, still, and this is as wicked as this country is, as wicked as this nation is, it's Public Law 97-280. They say they do everything by the word of the Most High. All you have to do is put back on them what they're saying. Your law says that you believe every word of the Most High. Now, what y'all doing and all of the sidebars y'all making, all them other deals y'all making, same-sex marriage and all that with the other nations, that ain't got nothing to do with the Bible and what's in it. And you said, judge this nation off the Bible, because you put it out there.
Right.
In every one of their courtrooms, what do you hold your hand on?
The Bible.
Is it a Quran?
No.
Is it Buddha scroll?
No.
Is it the Watchtower?
Nope.
Is it Joseph Smith Latter-day Saints?
Nope.
No. So when you get down to this in the courthouse, y'all, this is what we have to understand. We don't have to battle with nothing like that. All we have to battle with is what they let come out of their mouth. And the Most High is going to judge them according to this, just like us.
Right.
We can't let this come out of our mouth and turn and be worshiping something else.
Right. Or
Y'all,
using it to your advantage.
Using it to your advantage, y'all. That's all we saying. So
Nobody do that.
know the game, y'all.
Not a man of
That this
God.
nation is trying to run on you, but they know the game. It's the reason that we're the #1 jail filler, and they use the Bible against us. They're only using our own laws on us. They ain't charging you with violating the same-sex marriage up in there, is they?
No.
And we're going to lock you up because we told you Lou Bertha was off the list. It's Louis you should be married to. And we're going to send you to jail.
Right.
No, they ain't doing
They
that.
got commercials for that. I just saw one last night. Almost two men kissing.
Right. You look the other way.
They have AIDS already. We can help you with that.
The only problem is if you smile when you see two women kissing, then that's trouble.
Yeah, for you.
Because you're letting one half, you're saying I'll accept it as long as it's on this half.
Right.
No, you can't accept it on no half because the laws say the same for all of it. Male, female, free and bond, rich and poor, Jew and Gentile, y'all, we're going to get down with this under the Melchizedek order that bruh just read Psalms 8. It wasn't talking about David, it was David talking about the Messiah.
That's right.
Psalm 110 as well match up with what David is talking about. Everything was put in charge of the Messiah, the whole world and the heavens, except the Most High's throne. So y'all, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Nothing out there too bad?
Yeah, you got one.
Okay.
John Pitts asks, how you not be, you got a word that's kind of funny, so I'm going to disinterpret this. It says, how you not be the bad guy through this holiday season knowing you shouldn't celebrate?
How do you be the bad guy?
How do you not be?
Well, like I said, bro, get the class prepared next week, but because, yeah, it's today, what we're talking about this holiday season, stick with the word. The problem is, and the problem always going to be, if you don't know our holy days, keep your mouth on lock.
Yeah.
Because if you take something from them and don't replace it with anything,
Right.
we got a high holy day coming up, y'all, on the Gregorian calendar, December the 10th through December the 18th. The biblical calendar, the 25th, the 20 and 5th day of Kislev. It's called the Feast of Dedication. Coming up, y'all, it's going to be here shortly. If you're not fully in tune with what you're supposed to do and wasting your time talking about Christmas, it's going to be a problem. Because you don't know what to put back inside of you, and that's where your real test is going to be. How well do you know Leviticus 23? How well do you understand Yah's feast day? You need to know them feast days better than you know Christmas and Halloween is bad days. You need to know his laws, statutes, his word on his feast days better than you know what those feast days are about, the folly days of this nation.
You say this, your family is watching too.
Yes, sir.
Pay attention, because they watching. They see everything you're doing.
Your children
Just last
watching.
week, my son said to me, Dad, y'all celebrate Hanukkah, ain't that coming up? Well,
That's a good
I was
thing.
smiling from ear to ear.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is, from the 10th to the 18th.
Yes, sir. That's what we're looking for, y'all, is that understanding, y'all. We ain't worried about everything because we cannot tell anybody to attack and they're living with their parents or anything like that, or they're living somewhere where this is going on. You can't advise them. I tell you what, if I was living there, I'd kick that tree over, I'd set fire to it. Well, you're going to set fire to his rear end because he's going to be on the streets. Who's going to take him in? You going to take him in and give him that advice? Now look here, dog, I didn't mean for you to go that far. That was literally as an allegory when I was saying set it on fire.
You took it literally.
Boy,
You went too far. You can't burn up your mouth.
Again, that flame be up
yeah,
high
that
like
flame be up high
'Cause
like
I can
that.
remember I used to want to kick them over.
But look,
But I realized that's not productive.
it's not, because especially if they ask you, so what am I supposed to be celebrating?
Right, right.
Especially what I'm supposed to be celebrating, and your answer is not that.
Right.
That ain't no answer.
That ain't no answer.
So y'all, with that, y'all, we're gonna continue to go on, because if you attack them about what's in the word, you got to, what's not in the word, you for sure have to tell them what's in there. Obedience over sacrifice.
That's right.
So y'all, we're gonna get a little obedient today on y'all's word to the stars. And what I mean by this, stars is mentioned as a few different ways as well as everything else. There's the Son of Man, the only begotten, and then there's the Son of Man.
Right.
And when you see that, like he's talking to Ezekiel, he's calling Son of Man. He's speaking from Adam's lineage on up. And then when you hear it and the Son of Man like this, and you see like Son in capital, then you know it's talking about the Father and Messiah. So you got to know when to separate scriptures from the other. Because some like to use Ezekiel when it says Son of Man. See right there, he called Ezekiel Son of Man. Well, look here. Ezekiel was a sinner. Just like all of us sitting in here, everybody out there in the world. The Messiah never sinned. Now, when you find a sin, I'm not going to say make it because they can make them up.
Right.
I'm talking about when you find an actual law breaking of the Messiah, bring it forth. And see, this wrestling and twisting with Paul writings talking about, well, Paul said this. Paul tell you right up front, Acts 24 and Acts 29, everything I do, I did it from the law. So your job is whatever you saying Paul went off on, show it in the law how he went off. You can't just say he went off. That means you don't trust the New Testament. Well, the New Testament tells you right off, go check the law and see if any lies is being found. You got people out here saying, I believe everything in the New Testament except how Matthew was interpreted. Then you lukewarm.
Right.
It's either cold or hot, y'all.
Right.
Either you believe every word from Genesis to Revelation in here, or you don't.
Right.
If you don't, you lukewarm. You can't have it both ways. How you gonna not trust? Then wouldn't it be in your mind, I can't trust none of it then? It's all translated in English, ain't it?
Exactly.
New Testament translated in English. What the Old Testament translated in?
Jive.
No, it ain't translated in Hebrew. No, I'm just saying. But y'all know what I'm saying.
English, right?
It's English.
Right,
Still in English.
Yeah, man.
What that word say, boy, while we getting it on stars, the Hebrew word for stars?
It's
Kokab.
Kokab H 3556.
Yes, sir.
Star
Uh-huh.
of Messiah.
Of what?
Messiah.
Uh-huh.
Brothers, youth, numerous progeny. I think I said that.
Yes. So what we're...
Personification.
Yes, sir.
God's omniscience.
Uh-huh. So y'all see what that covered? How many ways stars can be used? So we have to make sure that we apply it, shalom y'all, we apply it to the right
Shalom, man.
subject matter that the scripture is talking about. Go ahead, bro.
3556.
Talking to me. Paul Marshall just wanted to say, tell the family thank you for lifting up prayers for him last week. Remember, even the brother last week said his
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
He said everybody's recovering, they're doing well.
Tell brother, pray for us as well.
Hallelujah.
Yes, sir. So y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get rolling. We got the Hebrew definition for it, and we see it multiples, so we have to apply it accordingly. So y'all, we're gonna start off with the beginning, Genesis 1:16, and we're gonna deal with the stars or the elements, and then we're gonna get into law about these elements and how we're to look at stars, planets, the sun, and the moon. How we're to look at individuals called superstars. Michael Jordan was a superstar. LeBron James is a superstar. The girl do all that flipping. What's her name? The gymnast? She's a superstar. Simone Biles. But what we're talking about, they're only on surface level stars. They're doing things that's outside of the ordinary that most people can do. I used to could do a backflip, but it was crooked.
Crooked backflip.
Yes, sir. You know what one side look like this? Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're gonna break your leg.
Yeah, you know what it means, boy, or elbow. So I wouldn't be a star in that arena, so to speak. And they have the Walk of Fame in Hollywood, right?
Right.
Boy, don't y'all know they had to put vent holes in trunks because they piss on it every day?
Well, if you walk through Hollywood and smell like piss anywhere.
Right. So, and then they got a term they call the pantheon of where greats are listed, and that's just a Greek word or from that Greek, or superstars in human form. The pantheon.
Also, they call them gods.
Yeah, and call them,
Yes, sir.
but they're gonna die like me.
Exactly.
So we understand those things. You can call yourself God all you want, but if you need God to save your life and you hollering him, then where is your God status?
Right.
That's right.
Why can't you say your own life?
Why you can't save your own life, right? Let's get it, y'all. Genesis 1:16.
Reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, and we'll start our reading in verse 16.
Can you take it to 14?
Yes, sir.
Chapter 1
Yes, sir. That's good.
and verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Let's get some understanding, family. And Yah said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
So let's get this understanding clear. There's lights in the firmament, and firmament is higher than the clouds. He said there's going to be lights up there. Go ahead.
And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
See, so he's saying these lights is going to do signs. They're going to break up the seasons. What else they going to do? Days and years. So that means they have to all work together.
Right.
It's no separate deal. So, and this is the only issue that we have with anybody studying the lunar system, the fact that you're eliminating the sun and the stars out of that program. They have to work together. You cannot get a full year off the moon itself.
Right.
Because it decreases and it increases. And if you're going off of that, then what we have to do is from the time that Noah got off that ark, if we do that from the moon way, then we're going to have to eliminate 11 days, add these days all the way back up to today.
Right.
So technically, y'all, we may be 100 or 200 years back the other way, or 100. Now you got to recalculate your birthday.
Right.
And when you were born, you have to recalculate everything from that perspective. If you don't, you're going to be off base. That's why the sun comes in. You have to acknowledge what its job is. It's just not to light up the day and heat it up at noontime. It has more than that. Let's get some more of this, y'all.
Verse 15. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so.
So it's saying all three of these lights give lights on the earth. It light up the night. You know, sometimes when you catch a full moon with no clouds, you have to double check and see if my headlights is on. You're like, wait a minute, it's bright out here. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 16. And Yah made 2 great lights.
So y'all, now we're talking about 2 out of the 3 we just mentioned are considered great. Let's read some more.
The greater light to rule the day.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. The sun is greater than the moon. This is what this just said, didn't it?
Right.
To rule the day. So it picked out the sun to rule the day. It didn't pick the moon to rule the day. It picked the sun to rule the day. Go ahead.
And the lesser light to rule the night.
See, and because the lesser light gets its light from the sun. It's not the other way around. The moon would never shine if the sun didn't reflect on it.
Right.
It would stay dark.
That's why you can see this moon in like a full moon during the daytime.
Yeah.
The sun is that powerful, that much greater than the moon.
Yes, sir.
That you can see the moon during the daytime.
But you won't see the sun at night like that, will you? With the moon in full blast.
Right.
Let's get some more. What else to say?
He made the stars also.
See, and now we got the third element, the stars come into play. But they have a responsibility. Don't mean they lesser.
Right.
Too much is given, much is expected. Is much expected from the sun. Is not expected as much from the stars.
Right.
Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 17. And Yah set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Yah saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
So these lights were put in the firmament on the 4th day. So what is the light in Genesis 1 and 1? The true light. 1 and 1. So you got 3 days of light before the sun and the moon and stars are brought into play. So y'all, that's a focus we're gonna get to when we get to the Messiah portion of this. Y'all, and what it say is rulership. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through what the prophets talked about, the sun and the moon, and how they don't break ordinances. So it's telling you what I want to establish here is that they don't break ranks. It ain't never been a point that where he told the sun, and because you went down early and they were doing my feast day, I'm gonna have to punish you, son. You know you're supposed to stay up till the twilight. You went down at 2 p.m. Let's get right to it, y'all. Jeremiah 31:35. Y'all, we just gonna run the scripts that the ordinances obey. When Noah got off that ark, it said the seasons will never change. It's still gonna be spring, summer, winter, and fall. They're gonna do whatever they're supposed to do. What you got, young brother? Huh? We're going to Jeremiah chapter 31. We'll pick it about 35, but you can start at 31. And this is a very important one, y'all, because the Messiah challenges individuals concerning his ordinances and how they command. You think the sun and the moon will let a human land on them? Not from the commandment of the Lord. Yeah, they'll try to get some robots up there, but you know, that's just them. You just going up there getting dirt for what? You looking for water?
Right.
You can't live up there.
Right.
It ain't no escape route up there.
That's what they want to do.
Now they in that space shuttle, but we're gonna get into the book of Obadiah to say what they really doing up there.
We're going to do our reading in the book of Jeremiah.
Hold on. Quickest way, young Aki, just keep your finger on that index and it'll tell you your page number. When you go to your index, just look at your page number. Up in the front, bro. It'll tell you Jeremiah. Yeah. I mean, it'll list all of the books of the Bible, and just see where you see Jeremiah. Yeah, help them out. And just go to that number, and it's going to take you right to verse 1. I mean, chapter 1. And then it'll move on, and then you'll be able to flip right through. Because we don't leave anybody, bro. We'll wait on you.
Oh, no. We're going to do it at 31 and 31, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we just move on down. Just want to pick up some more. We good?
In chapter 31, verse 31.
Thomas, give him a hand. Yeah, hook him up, Thomas. Show him that index, though, and put a marker in there. Put a piece of paper in there. No, show him the index, though, when we get through this, Tom, and just put a marker there in his index.
Yeah,
just so he can just flip back to it. Once we get through with this, just put a marker on the index page to show all of the chapters of the Bible.
Gotcha.
Because they got page numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it.
Reading in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31. We'll start our reading in verse 31. Behold, the days cometh, saith the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their father in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Most High.
So he said under Mount Sinai, when we got that covenant, the covenant has nothing to do with the laws. The covenant is an agreement we make concerning the laws.
Right.
And he said the only difference in that is going to be the priesthood. The laws will stay the same. Aaron and Melchizedek. We're under Melchizedek now since the Messiah took over. The laws don't change because the priesthood is Melchizedek. The priesthood just changed. Every law that Aaron learned, he learned from the order of Melchizedek because that was first in the earth.
Right.
He studied everything from that, but because we had to be re-educated, we had to have personal teachers at this time to walk us through the process, to get us through before we got back to the promised land, so we don't go in there with the same thing that got us cast out.
So Aaron learned it from the way it was supposed to be all along.
Yeah, it's always, yeah. Laws don't change.
Because Aaron couldn't be Christ.
Right.
He couldn't
Moses
be the one.
couldn't be. Absolutely.
Moses couldn't be Christ because Moses would have had Christ everything.
Right.
But because, see, that's what made me think about that, the way he explained that Aaron learned it from Melchizedek.
Right.
He didn't learn it from now that you're in sin. Is the reason why you got to learn this. He learned it that this is the way it was supposed to be all along.
Absolutely.
Until Adam tripped.
Right. So y'all, we understand that that's the covenant that he bringing back. Go ahead, read some more, bro.
Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days. After those days, saith the Most High. I will put my law in their inward parts.
See, this is the new covenant, y'all. I'm going to put my law in your inward parts. It's the same laws. It's just what he's doing with the laws under the order of Melchizedek. I'm going to put them in your inward parts. You know why? Because under Aaron, we wore the law on our outer parts.
Right.
We wore fringes.
Right.
We had to have 2 physical witnesses to catch you. You could have committed all type of crime, but if it wasn't 2 witnesses to say I saw you, you do like this. Phew! I got away with that one. There's nobody.
Slid in the own plate.
Right.
But when he put the covenant about his laws inside, then they're right here. So every time you get ready to touch something that don't belong to you, what Pharaoh got when he was trying to reach his hand and caress Sarah, and that hand bent up like this, your mind is going to get a bent hand. It's like right now, if you lighten some and your finger burn, immediately it go to the law inside of you and the lake of fire pop in your mind. You like, if that hurt, and I barely touched it because I got my hand back. What is it going to be like for eternity? That same sting, y'all, because that's what it's going to be, because you're not going to be consumed. It's that sting of the burn for the rest of your eternity.
And you can't pull your hand
And you
back.
can't pull your hand back. Woo.
What you doing is wasting energy.
You wasted energy. Go ahead.
Like you burning.
And look, what you going to do? Blow hot fire on the hot part?
You ain't got enough breath.
I will put my law in their inward part.
Yes, sir.
And write it in their heart.
And what he going to do with it?
Write it in their heart.
Uh-huh.
And will be their Elohim. And they shall be my people.
What did he write his law on Mount Sinai? He wrote that on two tables of stone.
Right.
With what's called the finger of Yah. He wrote them laws on. He said, I'm not going to do that no more. We're not going back down that path no more. Y'all done had it. Y'all got it on your wall. Go into any one of y'all halls, that 10 Commandments, y'all. That's what we do up in here. Now come on back here, man. Let me show you these stolen shoes. How many pair you got? No, y'all. It ain't going to be that game Commandments in the living room. No, look here. Let's go down to the basement.
Right,
Where the goodies at. Where we at, bro?
Verse 34. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Most High, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh.
From the least of them to the who?
To the greatest of them. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more.
So if you make this, whatever sin you had, that's forgotten. Wonder if the Lord goes, Lord, I know. He like, man, I forgot that. I forgot that. So you don't have to worry about them things because it's inside. It's like Abraham. He said, Abraham kept all my commandments. When did Abraham get commandments? I'm talking about physical commandments like Mount Sinai. When did he get them? It say he kept Genesis 26 and 5. So he kept all of the Lord's commandments. So these commandments had to come from another source, and they say he was circumcised in his heart. He didn't get circumcised till he was 99.
Right.
He got circumcised after it was told that he's my friend.
Right.
I'm gonna make a covenant with you though. Circumcise this flesh right here. But guess what? That's still covered up. Because the covenant he made with him is in his shorts.
Right.
Who you gonna be walking around showing your covenant? You just got your pants up. Y'all see this circumcision here? Y'all see it?
They be like, come on, Abraham, man. Right. You know, every time you come over here,
You show off your covenant.
you always showing your covenant to somebody.
Righteous. Hey, they walk around like that now.
Boy, look here.
I don't think it's Abraham, though, John.
Hold that, y'all. Let me get a little bit of this Jasher 10. No, I won't. Is it 16? I won't write where Isaac was telling. It may be 21. Where Isaac was telling. Not Isaac.
Ishmael.
Yeah, Isaac was telling Ishmael. You know that circumcision don't mean nothing. You
Ishmael
guys.
was telling Isaac.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Lord, he like, you think you special?
Well, that's Isaac talking to Ishmael.
No, that was Ishmael.
We gonna
talking
see.
to Isaac.
Okay.
We finna see.
Right here. Where we at? We need right. Where is it?
Where is it,
Maybe
Uriah?
19.
I got it.
Here it comes circumcision right here. Well, we're going to 19.
I'm in the wrong book.
Let's see, make
That
sure.
might be the problem.
Chapter 19.
No, I won't write where Ishmael circumcision commanded. Abraham wrote there to the door to 10. I found favor. Okay. I just want to get right to where it may be 21. Maybe off, y'all. I think it's 21. Isaac born. That's where I want. You're absolutely right. And I just want Ishmael. Okay. Yeah, we're right here.
Where Ishmael was
Right. We want 21 and 13. Hold on. Now we want to get that a little bit. Okay. I want to go right where he was going to sacrifice. I thought it right there. But tell y'all what. Thought I had that mark. I'm tripping. Here it is. I got it, y'all. Right here, 22 and 45. Okay, we're going to start about 41. See, because a lot of people think that Isaac was a little boy, that he was 12 because they called him a lad. Lad is like a virgin. But a lad could be not just ain't came into manhood yet, but what he has not done is he's not spilled his seed into a woman yet. See, these brothers didn't have a waiting problem back then. These brothers was disciplined up here. Because you have to understand, they're under the order of Melchizedek. They're not under Aaron law teaching. The law is the same, but they're not to the point that where they have to show off anything. It's in the heart. Everything they did is from the heart. It's like civil rights people trying to show you they German Shepherd bites. Like that makes them really out there. You know, right here, this where the police dog bit half my rear end off. We can see it, it's a gap right in there. You know, so we're not talking about that. You ain't gonna show off your war wounds.
Right.
So let's get it, y'all. The book of Jasher, chapter 22, verse 41. What it say?
The book of Jasher, chapter 22, verse 41.
Yes, sir.
And when Isaac was 37 years old.
How old was he?
37.
So it said Isaac was 37 years old when he was going to be put on the altar by Abraham. 37 years old. And the scripture, Genesis matches up the same way. Shalom, Imam. Genesis matches up the same way because it said Sarah died as 127. And she had Isaac at a certain age. So when you do the math, when she died, it's going to tell you how old Isaac was.
Right.
Because she had a heart attack about Isaac being sacrificed.
Right.
But the angel warned her. You laughed when I told you you was going to have a child at 80 years old. You was laughing. He said, you're going to cry later though. And with her joy when she found out he was sacrificed, her heart basically, she had a heart attack from joy. So it reversed on her from the joy of life. She had joy in everything. Yes, sir. So what happened is the Most High don't play. When he say, you know, you don't mess around like Zechariah. When he told him, you gonna name your son John. Zechariah say, ain't nobody in my lineage of the Levitical tribes named John. He said, so you got a problem with the message from the Lord, do you? I said, tell you what, since you like the fat mouth, and he didn't fat mouth, technically he just said, ain't nobody from John. So what you saying, I'm a liar?
Right.
I tell you what, you ain't gonna speak no more until he born. And when he was born, the people asked, what you gonna name him? John! John! Because his mouth opened up. 9 months it was on lock. All you gonna do is sign language. But as soon as they asked him, what shall we call John? J-O-H-N. However if you spell it in Hebrew the same way, that's his name. They're like, but ain't nobody like, look here, John.
You want to be quiet too?
Get it? Got it? Good. Right. John. Where we at?
Verse 41 again.
And
when Isaac was 37 years old, Ishmael his brother was going about with him in the tent.
Going about with him what?
In the tent.
See, they having words with each other. Go ahead.
And Ishmael boasted of himself to Isaac, saying, I was 13 years old when the Lord spoke to my father to circumcise us.
To do what?
To circumcise us.
See, so what you have to understand, that was a covenant made. Is Ishmael an Israelite?
Yes. Not an Israelite.
He's a Hebrew.
He's an Ishmaelite.
So he came up under the covenant as Abraham's children. So we have to understand that he's a Hebrew Ishmaelite, but he's not a Hebrew Israelite.
Exactly.
The covenant didn't pass through him. So he's saying, I'm part of the covenant, but he's only looking at it from the flesh perspective.
Right.
I got whacked.
Right.
I got rid of the turtle look, the blunt look. I'm straight. I got the fire chief cap now. Yeah, y'all see that? Yeah, go ahead. The fire chief when he get off the truck. Right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
And he worked hard for that.
Oh, man.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Zed.
I'm trying to regain my... Okay. And I did according to the word of the Elohim, which he spoke to my father.
So he obeyed. Go ahead.
And I gave my soul unto the Most High. And I did not transgress his words, which he commanded my father.
So right here up until this time, Ishmael say, I ain't broke no commandment, but boasting. Now you boasting. You enter commandment and don't know. But this is a war because he knows in his mind Isaac is the chosen. He gonna get the covenant.
Right.
He gonna get that blessing.
That's
Just
right.
like a conversation, you know, like he said, this is brothers getting into it, but this is Ishmael, like, I got him off by myself.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
my parents aren't listening, so I can talk to him the way I want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying?
Like Cain did.
Hey, you better not tell mama on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of those.
Listen here, I was born before you.
Right.
Go ahead, what we got?
Verse 43.
Uh-huh.
And Isaac answered Ishmael, saying, Why dost thou boast to me about this, about the little bit of thy flesh, which thou didst take from thy body, concerning which the Most High commanded thee?
He like, what you bragging about? You just got nipped.
Right.
You gonna quit hollering in a few? You 13. So, yes, I was 12. So I know Ishmael, all he talking about is walking like Fred Sanford
Right.
for a few weeks because it's gonna do that to you.
Right.
When you're not 8 days old as
Right.
required.
Right. He can remember that.
Now think about his daddy, he's 99 at the time. 99.
Woo. And circumcised himself.
And oh boy, let's read some more.
Give me the stone.
That make me knock knees like this, boy, when you anytime like that.
Give me those sharp stones.
And shout at Jack Daniels.
Boy. Where we at?
Verse 44.
What it say?
As the Elohim liveth, the God of my father Abraham, if the Lord should say unto my father, Take now thy son Isaac and bring him up an offering before me, I would not refrain, but I would joyfully ascend to it.
So basically here, your words, see, and this is under Melchizedek, so you know the words you speak out of your mouth, that's the first witness against yourself. Under this order. Aaron, come on, who told you that? See, but I'm not putting down the priesthood of Aaron because the laws are the same. It's just the fact that if men are still chasing it, then they can always ask, who told you that? Well, was two witnesses there? No, the bottom line is what's come out of your mouth when we go back under this new covenant, and what comes out of your mouth is the first witness against yourself. Because your conscience, the Messiah says, bear witness of yourself. Go ahead.
Verse 45. And the Elohim heard the word that Isaac spoke to Ishmael, and it seemed good in the sight of the Most High. And he thought to try Abraham in this matter.
So when you hear anybody talking about the Lord tempted Abraham to kill his son, no, the Lord heard what Ishmael said. He made a covenant with his mouth. He said, that seemed good to me. And it's about this. He said, I'll sacrifice that. Well, let's see what you would do, partner.
That was Isaac's comeback to Ishmael.
That right. That
Talking about that little flesh, I'll lay my life down.
I'll lay my life down. You talking about a little piece of skin. Where we at?
Verse 46. And the day arrived when the son of Yahweh came and placed themselves before the Lord. And Satan also came with the sons of Yahweh before the Lord.
So this is Job chapter 1. See, this is Satan now. So these are sons of God, so they're different stars, so to speak. These are the angels in this star perspective. Because they're coming up amongst the throne. Because that's what the accused of our brethren do. They accuse us to the Lord. Satan will come. You gave me the death penalty. And you letting them get away with everything. Look what David did.
Right.
Look what his son Absalom did. They didn't get the death penalty like I got.
They didn't do what you did.
They didn't do what you did either. Let's get some more.
Verse 47. And the Elohim said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Elohim and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So it's the same thing, yo. So this is what we're talking about, consistency, when we go into the books that the Bible mentioned that we can study from. The book of Jasher. What does it say right there, y'all? What can we study from? What does it say is mentioned? This book is mentioned in what chapters and verses? What does it say, Subai?
2 Samuel 1 and 18, 2 Timothy 3 and 8.
Yes, sir.
Joshua 10:13.
That's what it say. We can use this book and it say the same thing about the Apocrypha. It's mentioned all throughout here about these writings. So y'all, we roll with these, and also the book of Enoch is mentioned all throughout. Jude is mentioned in Genesis. Enoch is mentioned, so we use it. So we stay inside of the Bible that agree with the Bible and its laws, statutes, and judgment. We don't go around it. We don't care because you don't read it. But then you'll have the same Negroes go get some book from the Roman Thackeus, such and such, born in the 5th generation. Oh, you ain't gonna read Jasher, but you'll read that.
Right. And
it don't mention, and thou shalt study out the Roman Thackeus, the 5th chapter. It don't say that, do it?
Nope.
So y'all, we ain't worried about what
the dead either. That you
right,
don't own.
right. Your personal thoughts are obedience more than sacrifice. So y'all, just wanted to touch on that so we get some understanding about this covenant. We was in Jeremiah 31:35, I believe, where we want to get right back to that because he said, "I'll remember their sins no more." And now we're at verse 35, the point we're coming up to about the sun and the moon. Because look, y'all, he's talking about covenant keepers. He's talking about covenant keepers. You got any more?
Highlighter?
No, come on, like a bookmark. I just want to get one to bro and just put a bookmarker right in his index. You know, put a bookmark in there. So you don't have to keep pointing to him. He can go right back to it. Just put it right in the index and he'll flip back whatever chapter we say, bro. You know, and he'll get routine with it. He'll get routine with it. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Put that right there. No, put it in your index. Show them the index, too bad. Flip to the index where its page numbers are located. See, young brother around here, we seek another's wealth. And that means we got to make sure you up to speed and you have the same spiritual money in your pocket that we got. So we have to keep you up to speed, right with us. We can't pass you up. We can't say, well, who brought him in here and don't know what Genesis is. Why is he looking at Revelation at the beginning? No, so we can't do that. So we got to make sure we do everything that you on point with us, that we one spirit in this walk right now. Where we at? Verse 35 of Jeremiah 31.
Reading in the book of Jeremiah, in the 31st chapter, reading in the 35th verse.
Yes, sir.
Thus saith the Most High, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Most High of hosts is his name.
Is Jeremiah saying anything differently from Genesis 1:26? Did he just say a star for a light by day?
No.
I mean the sun for a light by day and the stars and the moon for a light by night?
Yep.
That's the same exact language, ain't it? Jeremiah ain't going off his.
No, sir.
Same thing. He said this from Genesis. Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 36. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Most High, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
So he's starting with Israel first. If they conquer the moon, if they take over the stars, if they grab a hold of that, if they planted a flag there, and when you plant a flag, it's called an ensign. That means I control this nation now. That's what America did. They stuck their flag and everything. They say, we run it. You wanna talk to us, see about the flag, come see us.
The sands of Iwo Jima?
Yeah.
That statue?
That statue. You know what I'm talking about then, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 37. Thus saith the Most High, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel from all that they have done, saith the Most High.
So he say, look, y'all can get rid of Israel because they are sinners. But if y'all can prove this, he said, I'll wipe them off. Ain't no need me continuing having them spread my word and they ain't got nothing to back them up.
Right.
So if y'all can do that, if y'all can tell how deep those, y'all know the deepest they ever been, and they ain't never been that deep. 8 miles. Off of the meridian, I believe that's the water coast, that's 8 miles deep, and they can't even send a robot down there. It crushes the robot. But you know what else down there? Fish and different things that you can actually see through. They actually transparent at the bottom, but the pressure of it is so great they can't even go get the Titanic, and it's only 2 miles down. And we know how deep the ocean is. It's so deep it'll crush you like that. Just like the heavens, you get so far out. And y'all, what we're talking about, all you have to do is listen to the people that's talking. They tell you. The moon is 378,000 miles from Earth. Now, where the gas station?
Right. And if you got enough to get there,
How you gonna get back?
come on now.
Not only that, they say it's 300 degrees below zero when the sun is on the opposite side, and 500 degrees above Fahrenheit on the other side. No, 1500 when the sun is out, because there's no radiation belt. You know, it's just raw energy. Film melts at 500 degrees.
Right.
How you taking pictures and it's 1500 degrees from your writings?
So you just proved that they never stepped on the moon.
Yeah, look, I mean, go ahead, bro. Now, young bro say, no, he didn't believe that when he didn't know no more.
Ain't that what your parents used to tell you?
But
You ain't
look-
cleaned your room bit more than the man in the moon.
Boy, look here.
You heard it all
All the time. But see, yo,
We heard
this
it
is
all
why
our
he say
lives.
it's nigh to you. You speak it automatically. You ain't been no more than a man in the moon.
Yep.
Because if they've been to the moon that many times and a McDonald's ain't up there yet, somebody lying.
And we still here.
Right.
What's up, man? Turn when you slide up in there.
I mean, about what, 10 minutes ago?
10 minutes ago, boy, you been here that long?
Yeah, he's going up in there long enough to get him something to snack on.
Look
Yeah.
at he's snacking the real deal.
Yes, sir. He can't wait to get the bite on his script.
Emo had a
That boy
problem
can
with that
read.
boy up here snacking on hot fries and old Chico sticks. Emo say, I can't stand it, I gotta come down there. So y'all see what we got down on. Pumpkin seeds. and
Trail mix.
Trail mix, all
Yeah.
what we call freeze-dried fruit. All
Right.
natural. No artificial.
Now,
Where we at, y'all?
verse 38. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that the city shall be built wait a minute, hold on. That the city shall be built to the Lord from the tower of Hananel unto the gate of the corner.
We're gonna hold that. Y'all read all of the rest of that. You know, it ain't too much more, but y'all, we're gonna move on, speed it up a little bit. But what I just wanted to show you is the difference in the law being written in your heart is Melchizedek. The law on the outer cup was Aaron. It's no more. It was just to re-educate you on who we are. So Melchizedek come back in to tell you just because you Israel don't mean you get a pass. Cause you know you Israel don't allow you to break the law.
That's right.
It does not. And y'all, that's recorded in Romans 2 and 9. Give me a little bit of that real quick, just real quick. We'll get there, we're gonna move on. So we understand, Romans 2 and 9. And it's the same thing in Ezekiel 18 chapter. Same thing in Numbers 15. What it says?
It says that tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil.
Hold on right there. We're going to let young brother get caught up to him. Where that mark at, y'all? Y'all got to do is go by page numbers if you look at that mark. It'll say page starting at page 352. No, that's it. You got this one. We right there?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that doeth evil.
It says every soul of man. Now, did that separate and say Israel only? Go ahead.
And, of the Jew first.
Of the who?
Of the Jew first. And also the Gentile.
Okay, what's the next verse say?
But glory, honor, and peace to every man that worketh good, to the Jew first, and also the Gentile.
Now, this has to be talking
Gentiles
about.
don't get no glory. Most High only came for Israel.
Well, okay, that's the problem.
You need to stop repeating what up here.
Right. Yes, sir. The only problem with that concept that they're talking to this was talking about Israelites that didn't know who they were. The only problem is, why would I get right? If I do wrong, you get punished before me. That's what it says, to the Jew first and then the Gentile. So if I don't know who I am and I'm with an Israelite that know who he is, he get punished first and then the Lord get me. Now, if it comes down to a blessing, then he get a new bite. But I gotta wait till he get his. I'm still getting a bite not knowing who I am. If you follow that concept, I'm still getting it. Why would I be concerned about knowing if I'm a die after you and I just get my gift after you? Why should I find out why who I am? Why does it matter? It's the same thing, y'all. Romans 11:9. It said tribulation and anguish, all this to the natural branch that fell off. Honor and glory to the wild olive branch. That's a problem, because you're saying the one who don't know who he is getting the blessing, and the one who don't getting a boot up his rear end. Y'all understand? But if you start at the subject matter, verse 1 of that Romans 11, has God cast away his people, you'll stay in line. You won't go left field. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
What it say?
For there is no respect of persons with God.
What did he say?
There is no respect of persons with God.
Most High don't care who you are. He said, I can make Israel out of a stack of rocks. I made Adam from dirt, didn't I?
Right. Dust.
Dust. The residue of dirt.
Right.
That's on your TV if you ain't wiped it in a while and do your finger like this. You like, boy,
the shades when the sun's shining through, them particles.
that's enough dirt to plant a roll cone. You ain't dusted in a while.
In a little while.
Go ahead. Where we at? Go ahead. Where we at now? Did we finish that? We finished that. So y'all just wanted to touch on that. So let's get right back to it. Job 9 and 7. We're going to hit these one-liners. We're going to hit Job 22 and 29. And we just, y'all, what we're doing is we're going by, and what we're just reading is how he says the lights obey. So what we're going through is obeying of lights. You know, those lights that keep the commandments. The season keep the commandments. Spring come, don't it? Yeah. Fall just left, and them leaves off the tree.
Yes, sir.
Them leaves will fall off the tree if it's 90 degrees outside in the fall. They don't change order. Thank you, Imam. Where we at?
It's all
Did you finish that, Jeremiah?
Yeah, we finished that. Yeah, Job 9 and 7. Job right before Psalms, yeah. Y'all, this word ain't hard because he said, I didn't make it grievous. I did not make my laws grievous. I am not going to tempt you with anything outside that. I'm just asking you, you know, to keep my command. Where he said, I'm not asking you, I'm commanding you to keep. You know, if you want to live. If you don't want to live, you can do whatever you want to do. You have free will. If you don't want to live.
Right.
And he's talking eternity.
So there's no such thing as you only live once.
No. No. Where we at?
9 and 7, Job, chapter 9.
Unless they talk about on this side of the sun. Go ahead.
Which commandeth the sun and rises not.
You need to back it up?
Yeah,
one verse?
like
Okay.
that.
We can back it up to one then.
Yeah.
And y'all, what we're looking for is key words like command. How do you command the sun? Messiah commanded that storm, cut it out. When the disciples were scared and were about to jump ship, cut it out. And went right back to sleep. Don't y'all wake me up no more. And they looking like, what manner of man is this to tell us a storm to cut it out? And it cuts it out.
Right.
Where we at? But we just read in that Psalm 8 that he was given power to tell it to cut it out.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Verse 1.
What it say?
Job chapter 9. Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth.
Of a what?
Of a truth. But how should man be just with God? If he will contend with him, he cannot answer him 1 of 1,000. He is wise in heart and mighty in strength. Who hath hardened himself against him, who hath prospered, which removeth the mountains, and they know not, which overturneth them in his anger, which shaketh the earth out of her place, and the pillars thereof tremble.
So he's saying, how can a man contend with God? How you gonna ask God a question? You can't do none of this. You can't even explain what happened right here. Your best scholars, the mighty men of Teman, talking about there's a missing link. There's a half monkey man, and in between the monkey man and the man you are today. We can't find that man. You ain't gonna never find him.
No.
The reason because it don't exist. If you could find a tadpole halfway between a frog and a tadpole dead, then you ought to find the missing link. Half a monkey and half a man. Or you're saying all of them made it through the transition.
Right.
None of them died halfway through. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Verse 7. Which commandeth the sun and rises not.
What did he do? He commanded the sun what?
And it rises not. And sealeth up the stars, which alone spreadeth out the heavens, and treadeth upon the waves of the sea, which make Arcturus, Orion, and Pleiades, and the chambers of the south.
So now he's talking about planets, and he's talking about the galaxy. Orion, you see these in all these movies, Men in Black and all things, they have these same thing, Orion and Pleiades. These are planets and different things that the Bible calls.
Right.
So he's talking about everything in the heavens. I command. They follow my order because I created them. You think the sun gonna decide I ain't doing it no more? I'm rising from the west today.
Right.
I'm sick of it, and I'm setting in the east. I'm tired of it. How you gonna tell me which way I can go? I'm the sun.
Right. I need to change it.
But no, the only thing to do that is man that don't obey. Where we at?
Verse 10. Which doeth great things past finding out. Yea, and wonders without number.
Wonders without number. So y'all can finish reading that, but we just want to get to the part of commanding, that they don't have their own mindset. They do what's commanded them. And they've been doing it since before Adam. And they were doing it before then. They just got knocked out when Satan got threw out of the heavens. Adam is a reforming of planet Earth. A rebuilding. He told Adam to replenish the earth. So if you replenish something that was filled already before, wasn't it?
Right.
You don't move into a brand new house, nary a person lived in there and say, I got to refill these cabinets. What was ever in them?
Right.
Now, if you got run out the neighborhood and you had plenty ramen noodles and different things up in there, tuna and salmon, and then you come back, yeah, I'm going to have to refill it. Them burglars took all of this. I'm going to have to refill this.
Run up out the neighborhood.
Yeah, where we at, bro?
Your next script.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where you want to go?
We're going to Job 22:29.
Yeah.
Just going to move it right on up. Y'all, we're going with Job. Shalom, bro. Job was a prophet of the Most High that was able to discuss with the Most High the righteousness that was going on in the heavens and the earth. And he had 3 partners with him, was trying to break down some things, and they was off.
Right.
They was way off. So the Most High was speaking with Job personally, because he talked to him personally. He said, if you know the beginning of time, then start explaining it to yourself right now. Explain it to the whole world what happened at the beginning of time. Job said, you know I don't know that. You know I don't know that. Well, don't sound like you know.
Right.
How you ever gonna get above the Creator? How your child gonna tell you? See, you don't understand. You ain't never been walking in me. He's like, boy, I walked in them shoes. I had them shoes on when I met your mama. What is you talking about?
Like that commercial with the father and son driving, and he said, what was your favorite part about high school? He said, kissing your mama.
Yes, sir.
And he got all embarrassed. Look at his stuff.
Right. Where we at, Job?
22 verse 29. When men are cast down, then thou shalt say, there is lifting up, and he shall save the humble person. He shall deliver the island of the innocent, and it is delivered by the pureness of thine hand.
So basically all I wanted to show there was that as you see all the other things, if we were backed it up a couple scripts, you know, you'll see what Almighty is talking about. Just basically if we take it from 26 down, but what I was showing you is that the difference in man and the commandments of the elements, there's never no back talk. It ain't never no back talk with his creation that he created way beforehand. Shalom, Levi.
Shalom.
And look, it's the same thing like we saying, you know, boy, I'm here, you know what you mean. It says Abraham paid tithes while Levi was yet in his loins. That's what we're talking about. So you running this tithe game, and Abraham paid tithe while Levi was yet in his loins. He made me remember that when he walked in, that was Levi. But he said tithes was already paid. And you say, where Abraham paid tithe? Well, you see, when he went and got Lot back, all of the spoils of the war, he paid, say, you can take all that. I just need this little bit for the Lord. But he's saying, ain't nothing, I ain't taking from nobody. I got to pay these men that went to war.
That's right.
We don't ask nobody to fight and give their life and ain't nothing for it.
Right.
No, Abraham was a righteous man. While the Most High said, he's my friend. Y'all, that's what we seeking. If he tell you he your friend, then you understand what a friend is, because we go through the book of Sirach, it tells you how to judge a friend.
Right.
He knows your name.
That's what we're talking about. Boy, you sounded pretty good, then you been practicing. Trying to get him on the track, boy. Go ahead, where we at,
Boy,
bro?
you crazy.
We're going to Psalm 148, 3 through 6. Psalm is the very next chapter.
Oh, boy.
148, 3 through 6. Huh?
Y'all are crazy, boy.
Y'all go ahead and really do all of that. I mean, one through, we'll do 1 through, what we say that was, 3 through 6. We'll go 1 through 6.
Psalms 148, verse 1.
Hold on, wait a second. Let young bro catch up.
Oh, there.
Yeah, bro, I got you right.
Watch it see if somebody else got that voice. Yeah, okay.
Boy, they say you gotta watch out, Jose.
Okay.
No, that wasn't even it.
Boy, y'all crazy. Go ahead, where we at? Boy, you was gonna get a whack track. Where we at?
Psalms 148, verse 1.
What it say?
Praise ye the Most High. Praise ye the Most High from the heavens. Praise him in the heights. Praise ye him, all his angels. Praise ye him, all his hosts.
Right.
Praise ye him, sun and moon. Praise him, all ye stars of light.
See, so he's telling the sun and the moon to praise him. You see what I'm saying? How do they do that unless you understand his creation? The clay will never tell the potter what to do. So the stars and moon have to do as they are ordered to do. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens. Let them praise the name of the Most High, for he commanded, and they were created.
See, he commanded and they were created. Go ahead.
He hath also established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not pass.
So we can hold on, y'all read all the rest of your time, but he said created forever. He said, look, to the end of time, they gonna obey. They do obey. They know when they be there. It warns us when it looks like they won't obey. Excuse me. When the sun and the moon, that's me trying to gobble up some of this emo boiled black bean soup. All the problem when you talking and eating. Didn't they tell us about talking and eating?
Right, talking with your mouth full.
Right. Go ahead. Where we at? We finish that?
But now, how could the son of Joseph have this type of power?
Right.
You understand? That's what I'm like. How do they even try to justify some Joseph is the daddy doctrine when Joseph had none of this type of pull that I knew of?
I got one for you already. Let me find it real quick. I heard this in Luke 1. I was studying it the other day.
Say you was lukewarm.
No, lukewarm. I'm trying to help you out. You cracking.
No. Well, you know.
Now check this out real quick. Let me find it when
Where you going to, Ak?
I'm looking for when they left him in the temple when he was 12, but they didn't leave him. He stayed behind.
Right.
Where is that?
That's Matthew 2. That's on up. They went looking for him. He was left behind. Yeah, I know.
Here it is, right here in my
Yeah.
face, right here in my face. Luke chapter 2, verse 46. We're gonna start at 46. Yeah, I'll write it down and give him a chance to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
246, right? Yep.
What it say, Ak? Oh, they still page flipping.
All right. It says, and it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions.
First of all, y'all, this had to be a relief on them. We've been looking for our child, 12-year-old, for 3 days. Do you know what that would do to a mother and a father?
Yep. Every night.
3 days he missing, so to speak. And they say, well, let's take a look at the prophets and see what they saying. They saying he gonna be raised like this, milk and butter, and which are signs of knowledge. Let's try and see if he's in the temple. What else to say, bro?
It says that, and all that heard him was astonished at his understanding and answers. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, thy father and I have sought thee sorrowing. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Whilst ye not that I must be about my father's business?
See, now, you was going to get into that.
What I was going to say is that, how could it be about Joseph's business and Joseph wasn't handling that business?
Right.
It wasn't Joseph in the temple.
Right.
It wasn't Joseph had nothing to do with the temple.
Right.
That he's in there taking his father's place.
Right. So
Joseph left.
If he was building a house,
Exactly.
then at that time when they found him, you know, he carrying lumber.
Right.
They say, you know, I'm about my father's business.
Exactly.
But see, those non-messianics and maniacs, and Joseph is the daddy, will say right here, he's called, she asked him about me and your father. Well, it is his father, his earthly father, he taking care of.
Right. Stepfather. They don't call him stepdaddy, steppappy, and stepdaddy, stepfather.
That's why Matthew say, as was supposed. So y'all, it's clear understanding of how he answered that. Joseph would have said, boy, you losing your mind. You know my business, I'm a carpenter. What you up in there with these priests for?
Right.
Boys, you trying to shame your daddy? Now get that hammer and come on. We've been looking for you.
Right.
Did he say that though?
No.
What's the next verse? What happened after that?
And they understood not the saying which he spake unto
See,
them.
they understood it not. So you can't use that as proof to say that, right there, his mama said that was his daddy. No, that ain't what his mama said. She said, the protector of the house that you belong to, me and him been looking for you.
Right.
We've been looking for you.
Read
Is
that
it anywhere recorded? He said, me and my father are one. Joseph, come here and let him show him how we look together.
Right.
We look just alike, don't you
Look
see
just
this?
like my dad.
We look like twins.
You gonna read that out, Ak?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Read it out, you right.
Okay. Verse 53.
Uh-huh.
Or
51.
And he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was subject unto them. But his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with Yah and man.
Right. Not with Joseph.
Right, and see, he say her mother kept the sayings, and then what's she keeping these sayings in her for?
In her heart. She
Right.
didn't talk to Joseph about it.
Right. So we get some more, y'all get into the testament of Joseph. You'll see Joseph himself said he was so worried that he was going to be judged because he questioned Mary who that baby was in her belly.
Right.
And the thoughts that he had with her, he was going to put her away private. If that's her husband, he don't have to put her away private. All he have to do is do a public ceremony. That's what the law says. If you taking a virgin that is not betrothed to another man, and you have intercourse with her before the public ceremony, you cannot divorce her. You got to have a public ceremony right then and there.
Yep.
Gotta come clean.
You got to come clean. See, the laws in there about marriage are only correction law, because the law is not for a righteous man. It don't mean that the righteous men who call themselves righteous don't need the law. What it's saying is they know the marriage, so you ain't got to keep repeating it to them. The men that are hollering Joseph is the daddy is coming from the perspective of no ceremonial public acknowledgement of this is my wife. Men find out that that's who you've been with when she's 6 months pregnant, or it just shows up on Facebook. Y'all know he with her now. See, because there's no public acknowledgement of the ceremony. And it didn't say you had to have 500 people there. Get her a ring with 5 weeks salary. It ain't never said none of that. It say you at least need her mother, daddy, brother, or somebody, and he need at least one on his side. So if anybody say anything, no, y'all got that twisted. Public ceremony. Actually, it was at Applebee's. We had a brother that know the script pretty good, showed up there. He signed on the paperwork. We took it down to the courthouse and got it notarized. It's on the law books downtown.
Right.
So y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's publicly acknowledged. If it's on the law books of that nation, there's a public acknowledgement. All you have to go up and look in there and say, is this brother that married that brother? Yeah, it's right there on the records. But you can't do nothing with no crayon contract. You can do absolutely nothing. It has zero power in this land, so it has zero power with the Most High. Because every one of these polygamists, and I'm not going to get on there and get back on my law, have no ceremony. If he's legally married to one, they stood in front of the judge and the court stenographer as witnesses. He may have had a couple of his partners there. But none of them had no other ceremony. Check the record and look and see, did any one of them call these wives was it a public ceremony, or did you find out later, like everybody else did? You found out after the honeymoon. They put the honeymoon first. Honey, come on, the moon's out. Not the sun. Don't do it in front of the sun.
Right. The moon, the light.
Let's get some more. Where we at? We finished that?
Yep.
Let's get right to it, y'all. So since the last we finished off with angels in that Psalm 148, so we're going to pick it up angelically, that angels are called stars. But we started off with stars themselves being created on the 4th day. So we know that's different from men because Adam wasn't created to the 6th day.
Right.
So there's stars 2 days before, unless you try to make this another group of people. And you ain't going to be able to do it. Because you're saying there was another group of people here before Adam and Eve. Now, if you're saying that that's the missing link, you may be on to something. But you're going to have to get into some Jeremiah 4:23, some 2 Peter 3:5-8, and then start from there, if that's what you're saying. Let's read some more. Where we at? Oh, okay. We're going to Job 38:7. We're going to get to this angelic realm that lets you know Job was even saying that they're different than I am. Job never went up with the sons of God. He wasn't with them. Don't you think if he had a chance, he'd have went up? Well, hold on, wait a minute, Lord.
Right.
I ain't saying none of that.
Wait for me.
Wait for me. And y'all, the whole book of Job, y'all, is a conversation. It's verbal communication between Job and the Most High. 38:1, let's get it. How you looking, young bro? Good.
It's on me.
Take your time. Find where you at, just flip right back. You find that Psalm, Job is the next book back. We're in 38.
I got it. You got it.
Get a roll around there, next. Right and ready to go. Want to come up in here like an insurrection.
Hey, I like Job 38.
Let's get it, y'all. It ain't grieving, y'all. Y'all, this is how it's supposed to be, y'all. It's a feast day. That's what's starting at 1 hour, man. Whoever be mad at the dinner table. I'm talking about why you sitting around and you so stern and everybody saying, yes, sir, yes, at the dinner table? No, it's a feast.
That ain't feasting.
That ain't feasting. Let's get some more.
All right, Job chapter 38, verse 1.
What it say?
Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge?
See, that's the question the Lord answering Job out of the word. He's like, man, who telling you all this BS?
And if it's a whirlwind, that ain't pretty.
Boy, look here. Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me.
See, when the Most High tell you to gird up your loins like a man, he ain't talking about just like you finna go to war with another man. He said, but get that in your mindset that you have to man up on this one we getting ready to talk about. Man up.
Right.
Be a man on this one. Cut all the foolishness out. Be a man. Go ahead, what it say?
Right, you wanna hear a man saying, well, I was in my feelings that day.
No, none of that. No, that ain't no girding up your loins.
No.
That may be putting on a woman's girdle,
Yeah,
but that ain't girding up your loins. That's the best. You and your feelings, you got on a girdle.
Right, a man get mad, a man don't get in his feelings.
You hurt my feelings, man.
Right.
What it say? Go ahead, where we at, bro?
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding.
First thing he asks in Job is, where was you at from Genesis 1:1 through Genesis to Genesis 2nd chapter? Where was you at?
Right.
Just tell me where you was at in this equation. Go ahead.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line upon it?
See, he has some hard questions, ain't he?
Yeah.
You got the answer to any of this.
Right.
Go ahead.
Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof?
See, and this is what we're talking about, y'all. Who laid the cornerstone? You get Ezekiel 28, talk about Satan that said he was at the cornerstone. So he knew a few of these things, that that's where he tread up and down. But what the Most High is right here, where upon the foundation of fasten, and who fastened, or who laid the cornerstone thereof. So he's asking the foundation of the earth, because every building that's built in this nation has EST
Right.
and the year on the foundation of the building. On this building, it's on the cornerstone. Established 1928. It's always going to be on every corner of a building. The cornerstone. Let's read some up.
For some of y'all with the houses, if you break open your walls, you're going to find it written in the bottom on the studs.
What?
I done seen it, I'm telling you.
It don't change, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 7. When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy, or who shut up the sea with doors, when it brake forth as if it had issued out of the womb.
See, and that's what he's saying. He said when the sun break through clouds and everything like a baby being born, where was you at?
Right.
Where was you when the foundation fastened, or who laid the cornerstone? When the morning stars, who are the morning stars? The angels sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. Right here, Job is a son of God, so he wasn't there, was he? That's what he asked. Right. Where was you at? So we know the sons of God are the angels that were created first, was second, because Messiah was created first.
Right, I was just gonna hit that.
So, but he was what we would consider an angel.
But you see what he just said, the Messiah was created first? That's when you hear the Messiah talking about the builders have rejected
Right.
the cornerstone. The cornerstones. That he was that cornerstone and y'all rejected him.
His name on that cornerstone.
That's right.
Where we at?
Verse 9. When I made the cloud the garment thereof, and thick darkness of swaddling bands for it, and break up for it my decreed place, and set bars and doors.
So we can hold there, but this, y'all read that whole chapter, and you'll continue to see him expressing to Job, the heavens were made similar to how man came into existence. The only problem is they obey.
Right.
See, so that's what I'm asking. Let's get back to what obey before you talk some noise. You're talking about what man who is sinful.
Right. Like the Muslims say that the belief is to submit to the will of God. And Elisha always combats that by saying, well, the grass is more obedient than you are.
Absolutely. That's one of Elijah's faith.
Yeah.
He like, how much more are you than the grass? You gonna turn brown in the fall like you supposed to? What you got back there, T?
He was speaking on,
Last night I was having on going over this and how it's being said today.
Yeah, we're going right over that, huh? For the spirit moving. That's what we're talking about. Got you prepped for this the day before. That's how the Most High do. He's preparing a kingdom for a prepared people. You will not be unprepared going up in that kingdom because you ain't gonna know what to do. You ain't gonna know what to wear.
Right.
Right.
You think the Lord will let me wear these lead men's up in that? Nope.
you still got to prayer him, buddy.
Y'all back here in St. Louis, y'all, those was the most expensive slacks you could buy in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
And it was back in the 70s and 80s, $35 a pair. I'm talking about the 70s and the 80s though, y'all.
Now when you got him heavy there, they wouldn't
Well, look here.
You couldn't say nothing to him, brother, about them checkerboard men.
Look here.
These men some half moons on them.
Look here.
But look, I might still have mine, but Daniel can probably still fit here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look here, but I didn't have no lead man, y'all. I had platinums and cut that venom on myself.
Yeah, no doubt. Right.
Cut that venom on myself. They're like, boy, the millions you rocking. I'm like, yes, sir. Where we at?
And that Omega button on that joint.
You know what it is, bro. Y'all, angelic again. Judges 5:20. Book of Judges. But we just going over the angels now, y'all, as stars or considered stars. No, it ain't that. So I'm in the wrong area. We'll come back to that one, y'all. I'm gonna skip over that one. I don't know why I got that. I must have had the angel of the Lord. Oh yeah, I probably meant 5:13. Let's go to Judges 5:13. That's what I meant. And we're gonna see again here that where a man is confronting what appears to be another man, but we've never been commanded to bow to any man, were we? Give me a little bit of that.
Judges chapter 5, verse 13.
What it say? Hold on, we got a few pages flipping.
All right.
Judges chapter 5, verse 13. Then he made him that remaineth have dominion over the nobles among the people. The Lord made
go ahead.
The Lord made me have dominion over the mighty. Out of Ephraim was there a root of them against Amalek. After thee, Benjamin, among thy people, out of, how you pronounce that, Machir, came down governors, and out of Zebulun, they that handled the pen of the writer.
Just skip to verse 20. Tell me what that say, because I may have meant to put Joshua 5.
Verse 20.
What it say?
It says, they fought from heaven.
What they do?
They fought from heaven.
Thank you, bro.
The stars.
Yeah, that's what I want. I'm right on point then. Go ahead.
Just keep staying 20.
Yeah.
They fought from heaven. The stars in their courses fought against, how you pronounce that?
Sisera.
The river of Kishon swept them away, that ancient river, the river Kishon. O my soul, thou hast trodden down strength. Then were the horse hooves broken by the means of the prancing, how you pronounce that? The prancings of the mighty one. Curse ye Mizras. Is that how you pronounce it?
Miraz, yeah, same thing.
Said the angel of the Lord. Curse ye bitterly the inhabitants thereof.
What verse you in?
Verse
23. Okay, but what I wanted to do was just focus on verse 20 of that Judges. They fought from where? From heaven. The stars in their courses fought against Sisera. Now either this is talking about angels and it's talking about when Satan fell, or this is talking about actual stars battling. Like you look up and like, man, them stars scrap. Man, you see that one star knock that other one out? No, so y'all, what we're doing is just trying to hit script to let you understand that when stars are labeled as angels, when stars are labeled as men, and when they're labeled as what they are, the light in the firmament. But men are compared to certain things. The Messiah is compared to the sun 10,000 times, but 10,000 times more in its strength. So he's saying he's way more powerful than the sun, at least 10,000 times in the sun in its strength. The sun is in its strength between 12 and 2 p.m. That's when we used to couldn't go outside in the summertime.
Right.
It's too hot out there for you. Now you multiply that times 10,000. Now think about this, light years. The mighty men of Teman, or the wise men of this nation, say a light year is 187,000 miles a second. Why are we entertaining? We see another planet and it could have been life there, and it's 4 light years away. If 1 light year is 187,000 miles a second, I'm talking about a second, and now you got to start figuring up the year. How many seconds in a minute? 60.
Right.
How many minutes in an hour?
Right.
How many hours in a week? How many weeks in a year? That's just 1 light year. Now, when you say 4 light years away, this so far away, why is you entertaining that?
Right.
Are you ever gonna find 2 light? You ain't gonna even find 1 light year.
Right.
Then you ask, how did they come up with the speed of light? They put a mirror at the rising of the sun, and they had another mirror over there. When it hit that sun and bounced back, the speed of that, when they said that, that's how we measure light, is at another. If you reach the speed of light, you go to the next galaxy. If you get there, you go into another dimension. But ain't no man ever reached that, because it takes 1,000 years to do that. And no man has lived 1,000 years, have it? You can't go to the light. That's why when you die, that's the only time you hear people say, go to the light. Go to the light. But you dead. Go to the light now while you're alive and see what happens. Go ahead, where you at, brother?
I got a flux capacitor in the back of the van. I can do it.
You got what? Yeah.
You notice in that 20 it said they kept their courses.
What they do,
They kept their courses.
they kept their courses. That means we follow what we're supposed to do. We get up, the moon, sun, praise the Most High like they're supposed to do. Y'all, we can't even get our 3 times in a day that Daniel talked about when he said, I praise the Most High morning, noon, and evening. Those are your 3 prayers that you have to go into your closet. But then it say, pray ye always.
Right.
But these are set aside times that you say, away from the world, I go into my closet and talk to my Father. Morning, noon, and evening. There's an evening prayer. But you have to pray always.
Right.
So if you driving west, you can't spin the car around in the middle of the highway and say, I need to pray, and be facing the other way. You're going to get locked up, or traffic you're going to have a pile up so big. It don't mean every time you think about praying, you turn to these. I'm going to give you a set time to do that. Most people down here have their phones set. If y'all hear phones going off between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, they have it set for their evening prayer. It's to remind them, I need to go pray.
That's that $9.
But y'all, look, this the deal, and this is why we're saying it's so important, y'all, that we don't let this become part of our hand. And I'm talking about where if they take it from you, you say, what am I going to do? How will I tell time? What year will I know it from? You can tell time because the seasons don't change. The man in the movie Castaway, Tom Hanks, he had to make a calendar and he watched the seasons go by. That's how he knew he was there 5 years. And when they got back, they say, you've been gone 5 years? He said, oh, I know I am. But he didn't have no calendar, he had no paperwork. He had to start watching the stars, the elements, to tell me how to divide the day from night and what happens when the waves thereof roar. I can't go out when they roar because it's just going to push me back on the shoulder. They roar at night. I can't never go out at night. So he went out in the day and finally made it over that roar, and they found him. But he was marking his calendar. He was watching the seasons, watching them go by. So y'all, there will be no excuse. You will not be standing at Judgment Day, Lord, they took it away. My iPhone, I could not tell. All the calendars. So y'all, while we're arguing about calendars that we can't see, we have to go off If all this paperwork lives, he said, I'm not going to leave you comfortless.
Right.
The sun and the moon going to always keep you on point if you want to count the years and how old you are. What you got, young bro?
But I heard that the stars lead you if you look up at the night sky.
Well, we're finna get into that because certain times they do lead, but they don't have power. They will never, there's no instruction to say lead a man because that'll be worship. What you'll end up doing is worship, and that's where we're getting to about this, but we want to establish it.
You use them as a
Right,
guide.
because we started off with the Hebrew word kokal, meaning light. You gonna eat, Mom? You need some help?
You need any help?
Anybody, somebody walk eat, Mom? The Tommy guy, Judy guy. So, y'all, what we're starting from is every aspect that a star is looked at. It has its own power, then it's represented as man, it's represented as certain things, as angels and different things. We're pinpointing every area, that so you don't get confused by these, what we call word etymologists. They'll show you star and then say right there, see, that's a man, dog. Ain't no angels having sex with nobody. Man, that's a man. But they only went one portion of it. They have read 4 different ways the star is mentioned. And the Bible will break it down, every one of those ways that was in there. If you let somebody have you tunnel vision to one what they saying, they got you on the hook.
So when he read that keep their courses, compare that, the elements, with global warming, what they're saying.
Right. But see, what they're saying is they're not saying they're not keeping their course, and they said man is causing this. You got so much traffic on. Have y'all seen, they showed a picture of rush hour traffic or traffic in Los Angeles before the pandemic hit, and they showed when everybody got locked down.
The fog dissipated.
I'm talking about that's how much carbon, when that stuff keep going up, it eventually erodes the atmosphere. So now pressure coming through. So it's going to heat up because we're doing everything to destroy it. Every time you shoot a rocket up there, what's up there? Every time you shoot a rocket up there and it busts through that ozone layer, it's widening the gap and it brings raw radiation down here on Earth. Every time that happens. So yes, it's a global warming happening. They keep going. Now they let Elon Musk decide he go up there anytime he feel like he shoot rockets up there. So now we get to the point that the atmosphere, the portals are being opened daily just by them just keep shooting rockets up there. There's a cost to pay for that. You're going to cause warming of the atmosphere. It's just like if you went up, if they were able to go to the moon, it's 1,500 degrees above Fahrenheit. With no atmosphere up there or nothing to that Van Allen radiation belt, they call it, that protects us from that raw heat and energy. When you keep busting through that, it's like keep knocking a hole in a wall. Eventually that hole going to do what? It's going to bust wide open, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's get it. Where we at? We finished that?
Yeah.
That was Judges 5. Okay, y'all, we just want to get more. Isaiah 14 and 13, y'all, because we're talking about angels here as stars. And this angel was called a morning star. So when the morning star sang, was this men? Or was these some no good scoundrels? Because we already seen the true stars when we started off in Genesis 1, Jeremiah, where actually we're talking about the stars themselves. But now we're using, angels are looked at as stars because they're bright. Satan masquerades as an angel, right? Mm-hmm. The angel of light, a star. Isaiah 14:13. Do we need to back it up a bit?
13, 14.
Now we're getting into angels. Satan was an angelic being. He was an archangel. He was a cherub of the Most High. Till he decided to go against the Most High. And when we get to Revelation 12, when they say he drew a third part of the stars, what do you think? He just told them, look, y'all want to be shining down on earth at night all y'all life, or do y'all want to go down on earth and really light up some things? And he drew a third part of them?
Yeah.
Or did he draw a third part of the angels looked at that was up there among the heavenly stars? Which one is it? Y'all, we can't be simple-minded and led astray. Because what they're setting you up for is the worship of sun, stars, and moon. Where we at? Go ahead, read that for me, bro.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12.
What it say?
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning.
What is he?
Son of the morning.
Oh, Lucifer. Go ahead.
How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh.
He said, I'm going to exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. So is this just talking about the stars we can see?
No.
He ain't got too far to go. He was already above that star. He was above the stars we can see in the firmament. He was already above that. He was a cherub. When you see the Ark of the Covenant, them two angels covering the mercy seat, that was Lucifer's job. Where we at?
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
See, and we just read about the sides of the north. Earlier we were talking about with Job, talking about the sides of the north. Where were you at when the sides of the north? This is where he said, I need to get up there. I need to get to them sides of the north.
North side.
North side, that's where I need to be. North side? Where we at?
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Say, I'm going up high, y'all. Go ahead.
I will be like the Most High.
Who we gonna be like?
The Most High.
See, he's not trying to be the Messiah.
Right.
He wants to be the Most High so that the Messiah bow to him.
Right.
He's not into serving nobody else.
Right.
Now understand this. Nowhere in any of these scriptures you ever hear of any evil spirit or any evil entity coaxing Satan to pull the Bogart move. The Messiah, the Father say he's the father of lies.
Right.
And the father of what? Murderer.
Yep.
Ain't no evil spirits hanging around the throne of the Most High. They come back and forth, but there's a limit that they can come to. He can only come that far. Satan, what you come up here for with the other sons of stars? What you want? Like Michael went to help help Daniel out in Daniel chapter 10. He came back and reported that. So Satan came and reported, I want to talk to you about this boy you got that hedge around. Take that hedge from him and watch him seeing you to your face. He like, Satan, you just don't quit.
Right. You don't quit.
But I know Job. And the first words out of Job's mouth is, naked I came, naked I leave. When you got that settled in your heart, what man can move you? Because you're not sold to anything short. Gold in this world, silver of this world, money of this world, everything that compares. You like, none of that I can take with me. The only thing I can take back with me is the naked body that I came in.
Even the woman, even the power of the woman, which we as men give them, didn't even faze him.
No.
When she said, curse your God and die.
That she sure told him this. She said, Job, curse your God and die. Man, why you gonna suffer like this? What God will make you suffer like this? He said, the same God that told me I was born for suffering. A man that's born of a woman is few days.
Right.
Full of trouble. Let's read some more. What else to say?
Verse 15.
Yet
thou shalt be brought down to hell.
What should thou be brought down to?
Hell. To the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness? That made the world as a what? Wilderness. And destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch.
Like a what kind of branch?
Abominable branch.
See, the Most High is the righteous branch. Right. This is an abominable branch. So he's a tree. Trees have branches, right? So in the garden was a tree of life, and the tree of what?
Knowledge of good and evil.
Good and evil. What's on the back of this iPhone? Ain't that an apple?
Apple with a bite out of it.
With a what out of it?
A bite.
A bite out of it, because it's good and evil.
Forbidden fruit.
It's forbidden fruit. Look, it'll tell you some good things. You can Google anything about the Bible with it. You can find your family members. You can GPS your way to this, but then there's some bad things. Big busty breasts. Oh, you can find that on here. Men who like to. So it deals with both sides, good and evil. The only problem is it promotes evil, because if you watch how wise, the wiles of Satan, I should say, what he say is whenever he says something, men on the moon regularly found them. And you like, wait a minute. They do that to jar you, to see if this actually happened. And when you start reading the article, you know what they break it down to? Some men say it's possibility that men are on the moon. You understand what I'm saying? So they just grab your attention to see if you gonna get off your point on your Bible and bring you in there. Wait a minute, man, they saying that this happening in it. And then as soon as you look, it may have been possible. That means you're like, oh, y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all upset me for nothing.
You just messed up my soul.
Right. But all it is a faith checker. All we look forward is to see the wiles of the devil. What else they say? Oh, we good right there.
Verse 19. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot.
See, so he's telling them all of his, what's going to fall him. And then it say, men shall narrowly look on Satan and say, this Satan? When you see Satan about 1.5 foot shorter than Prince, and skinny, you like, you the sweet one. This got me
You little bastard, you.
You caused all this trouble. Man, I thought you was 7'10" and strapped and looked like Carl Malone about the shoulders.
No, he could just make you think he did.
He make you think he did. But resist the devil and he will flee.
That's right. That's right.
But see, we try to battle him like he that tall. Just tell him, man, get going. What does the Lord say? What does the script say? Get going, Satan.
Yeah.
Where we at? Verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So this is what prepared for anybody that followed the abominable branch. You know why? Because Satan was never punished in the garden. His punishment don't come to the end of the world. Give me a little bit real quick, Isaiah 65 and 20. Because then we'll see then when the serpent eats dust. Serpents don't eat dust. And this snake man here, he told me, he said, serpents taste dust to see which way the food went.
There's a rat shortage going on right now.
Boy, look
everybody trembling. I had to drive over Hill 3 weeks ago to get rats.
You better watch it.
Yo, he breed and sell snakes. Know them all. Look, they get loose. He like, man, it's like a moth got in the house. Oh, yeah, we'll find it. We'll wait till it go up to the light, then we hit him with the broom. Boy, I was over there. I'm like, man, where that snake that was in that cage right there? Oh, he got out yesterday. Boy, my feet went up my ears. I'm like, man, where you at? I'm like, no, we got to finish this discussion outside. No, if he come up my pants leg, you gonna need some construction in this house.
Isaiah chapter 45, you said verse 20?
Yeah, no, 65 and 20.
65, yeah.
Isaiah 65 and 20.
Isaiah chapter 65, verse 20.
Hold on, everybody get that. 65.
65.
Hold on. Make sure. Hold on. Hold on. I want to. Yeah, I just want where it says Satan. Then shall be the dust shall be the serpent's meat.
Oh, okay, that's 25.
25. Okay, that's where I want to go ahead. 65 and 25.
Isaiah chapter 65, verse 25.
Y'all read all of this because all of this is the second coming. Start at 23.
Verse 23. They shall not labor.
Go ahead. 20, that's it. 20. We started 20 to the end. Yes, sir. Yeah, 20 to the end. Yeah, I want to speed it up, y'all. I don't want to lose the time. I got
Isaiah chapter 65, verse 20.
Yes, sir.
There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that have not, that hath not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit.
Like we built all these kingdoms and another inhabited. Right. Go ahead.
They shall not plant and another eat.
Y'all know we planted all the crops, corn, everything, and another ate before we did. Go ahead.
For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble. For they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord.
What are they?
The seed of the blessed of the Lord.
So when you're the seed of the blessed of the Lord, ain't none of this gonna come nigh unto thee after you, if you make it over. If you found worthy. You ain't never ever got to worry about that.
No plague shall come nigh thy
no plague come nigh thy. What you got, bro?
But that worthiness is right here, obtained right here on earth by 1,000 falling at your left and 10,000 at your right, but none will come nigh thee.
Absolutely, bro. So the same thing that's gonna happen in heaven is already. Earth has to run a mirror image of it to prepare you for what's coming down. You got to get prepared for that. It's saying all the trouble you facing now, what Job faced, and it's over 20 years, or like I said, maybe over 40 years he was suffering. But when you look at that and you say, that's just 40 years to the Most High, what is 40 years when 1,000 years is only one day to him? 40 years is like 2 seconds what Job was suffering in the eyes of the Most High. It was that quick. What is 40 years? Men lived Methuselah 969 years. What is 40 years to the Most High of suffering? Absolutely zero. I mean, I'm not saying it don't count, but what we're looking at is you're talking about a short span of time that you boasted like Ishmael was.
Right.
What we got?
It says, and their offspring with them.
And their what?
Offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear.
That Jeremiah 31:31 we just read, the new covenant. Go ahead.
The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock.
So we know that ain't now. Right. You know why? Because all we got to do is go out to big cat country and throw a lamb in there and throw a bundle of straw in there and see which one he chooses.
But the Christians believe it. They know that that's their faith is based on that. They know that that's coming.
Yeah, send them out to big cat country.
They believe that, but you can't tell them nothing else.
What else is it, bro?
And dust shall be the serpent's meat.
Read that again. What shall be the serpent's meat?
And dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Lord.
See, so we know then dust, where you read in Genesis 3:14 was Satan's curse, and you should eat dust the remainder of your life. The Most High was giving up, because Satan is supernatural. You can't give him a death penalty right there because he's supernatural. That's how he's been able to get through the ages. He's supernatural. So he can't just die a carnal death like we did. He said, but at the end of time, you're going to die, and the stubble going to be all of those that follow you. That's what you eat. That'll be your dust, because they're going to be burned to stubble. You can lick them and eat them all you want. Then you'll be eating dust. But this is when? This at the second coming, ain't it? So Satan ain't never been punished like you're saying, or he was turned to a serpent. He never, that was just only metaphoric when you read.
Right.
But his punishment is coming. He's just out for company now. Who want to join me in the lake of fire? Like he grabbed that third of an angel, the third of the angel. 2/3 said, no, man, we ain't going for that. We're going to lay up here.
That's free will.
So if it's 1/3 left of 2/3, then the angels is a whole number then, ain't it? So is 1/3 being replaced to make it back whole in the heavens? But ain't no number on it. Who gonna count it? Who knows what the 1/3 is of that 2/3? You understand what I'm saying? So what's the whole number? But we look at Revelation 6 and 9 and say a number that man say, I can't even count the number, because he told Abraham it's like the stars of the heaven or the sand of the sea. Get to counting if you know this. Get to counting.
Right.
13, 14. Do you want cheese on your hamburger? Damn, you made me mess up. Hold on, now I gotta start over. 13. Damn, it moved.
Right.
You can't number them. So that third, the Most High gonna never give you a whole number, because if the Jehovah's Witness got you locked out at 144, you wouldn't stand a chance then. If it's only 144, 144 times 2 is still up there. Then that's what they saying. What's 144 times
288.
2? 288. That's what they saying is up in the heaven.
That's that Jenny's education.
Boy, look here.
Well, they ain't number 1s and 2s.
Boy, look here. Them ones and twos. Well, let's get it, y'all. Where we at? Let's move right on. Jude 1:13.
Sometimes 2 steps is all you need.
And y'all, we ain't gonna go in this Enoch, but we're gonna see the same thing concerning angels looked at as planets.
Where you going up?
We're going Jude 1:13. Well, it's only one chapter, verse 13. I should put just a V there, V13. That's right before Revelations, y'all. Yeah.
I was in Malachi.
No, I ain't got
And y'all,
it.
and then we're gonna bust that right back with Genesis 6. And all y'all, we're talking about angelic form and what they can do. Oh, they can't leave their first estate. Angels don't have no sex. Where you ever read that at? Where you ever read that they can't have it? Whoever told you that? Where you read that? What does first estate mean? The moon and the sun ain't left their first estate. Their first commandments, that's all it means. They ain't left their commandments. That's their first estate, was to watch over the sons and daughters of Adam. They left their position. It's like a security guard watching nurses going to the hospital every day. Ooh, boy. One day I'm gonna secure this door personally when I drag them up in there. I'm gonna do some security. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's get some more. Where we at?
We're in the book of Jude, the only chapter, in verse 13. Raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars.
Wondering what?
Stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
Just till tomorrow.
Forever. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Most High cometh with 10,000s of his saints.
So you can find that in Sirach 44:16, Sirach 49:14 talk about Enoch, and also Enoch 15 chapter. He said the same thing. The Lord coming with 10,000 of his saints. Moses got all his writings from Enoch. Enoch was writing it all down. Then Moses got it. Enoch, he said he was the first man to start writing it down.
Before Moses.
Way before Moses was looking. Let me see some more of the writings of Enoch.
Yeah, y'all ever think about like what he's saying? How long these brothers lived to know how many of them knew each other? Right. You know what I'm saying? That's like you knowing your great grandson. You know what I'm saying? Because you got you 900 years in. And people are steady having children. They grow up when you have, with the age of when you are able to reproduce a child, and that your child has a child, and then that child grow up and has a child and has a child, and you still living through all that.
Yeah.
So you see that it's the seventh from Enoch.
Right.
They was all there together.
Right. And look, and it's telling you the righteous seed, because Cain was dead. If it's Cain, he would technically be the eighth from Adam. But Cain is wiped out of the righteous line. So technically now it's 7. But Genesis 4, you still got to count for, and Adam knew Eve, and she conceived and bare Cain. But if you count now up to Enoch, that's 8. But this just said Enoch, the 7th from Adam. He was the 7th from the righteous line, because Abel was replaced by Seth. There was a replacement there of the righteous line. Cain was wiped out. Get out of here. Get out of here. So I'm counting from the righteous number. Like even though Esau was before Jacob, it counts from Jacob though. It don't count from Esau. It counts from Jacob. Esau don't have a last day where he drawed up his feet and told his son, let me tell y'all what's going to happen in the last day. I'm going to have a son named Trump. He's going to look like Cheetos rubbed over the place. Beware of him and bow down. No, it ain't in there.
He in your own seat.
Right. Where we at?
Verse 15.
Yeah.
To execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed. Think they're ungodly?
Boy, look here. Sound like Aunt Esther. Oh, look here. Go ahead.
And of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
Let's see what these are.
These are murmurers.
What are they?
Murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lust, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage.
Of advantage. You taking advantage of them. You take them, you know, because you was great swelling words.
Right.
The man that sleepeth on the floor will never fall out of bed.
That boy deep right there.
Boy, look here.
The Lord working with him.
Yeah. Because if you look why they give these men that power, you like they giving them power for that.
Right. I just saw
Y'all got to be kidding me. They gave Benjamin Carter, they say he got him back over to Jerusalem, didn't it? It ain't how they got it.
Right.
It's the way they got there with stolen passports. So you giving that a champion call? They stole passport, they borrowed money from family members and told them they're going to give it back to them next week and on the other side of the planet.
Right.
Right.
And you look at that as a great, these things. Like they talk about Malachi York and all his crazy stuff. Well, he was a great man, he brought them together. So now he in the penitentiary for 135 years. He get out in 2130. That's when he get out of jail. 2130. What's tomorrow? 2021
yeah.
coming up, ain't it?
Yeah.
He got 115 more years to go.
Hang in there.
Hang in there. That's right. Look, it's like they're gonna shock him when they kill him. They're gonna shock him and wake him back up. You got 15 more years to go.
Yeah.
Where we at, y'all?
Verse 17. But, beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before of the apostles of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach. How that they told you there should be mockers in the last time.
In the what time?
In the last time. Who should walk after their own ungodly lust.
What kind of lust?
Ungodly
See, it's ungodly lust when you say, I don't care what the Bible say, this, what I feel is right.
Right.
You women ain't got no covering, you better get a covering. Don't care what the Lord say. Don't care nothing about him saying, if you loose from a wife, don't seek another. If you loose from a husband, don't seek. I don't care nothing about what them scriptures say.
Did you get that?
Get you a woman.
About Lil Boosie?
Yeah, I saw that, but Lil
Man, I
Boosie
couldn't
don't know.
even
Lil
finish.
Boosie
Right.
half crazy.
I couldn't even finish it.
He'll straighten up if they threaten to cut that leg off. Lord, you know I can't sing Walk It Out with one leg. How I'm gonna sing that? How I'm gonna be on stage, walk it out, walk it. I'm sorry. No, it ain't gonna work then.
Right.
Not for you to be at concert. Where we at, y'all?
Verse 19. These be they who separate themselves, sensual, having not the Spirit.
Having not the what?
The Spirit. But ye, beloved, building up yourselves on your most holy faith, praying in the Holy Ghost. Keep yourselves in the love of Yah, looking for the mercy of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach unto eternal life.
So what happens to a non-messianic? How can you come into unity with that when this is saying that? They don't believe in the Messiah.
Right, you can't.
Give me a little bit of John 3:18, real quick while he holding that. Just real quick, anybody.
John 3:18.
Yes, sir.
John chapter 3, verse 18.
He quick on the draw. Go ahead, Ed. No, he's just messing with you. Go ahead, bro. What it say though? No, he may not be messing with you. Go ahead, Ed.
You like that one too?
Nat Tally. Go ahead.
All right, John chapter 3, verse 18. He that believeth on him is not condemned.
Is not what?
Condemned.
If believing on the Messiah, you are not condemned. Go ahead.
But he that believeth not is condemned already.
You're condemned already. Ain't no need unifying with you. You condemned. What that look like me and you going up to, what you here for today? I just want to spend the night in death row with Scott Peterson.
Right.
You know, I know he's condemned already, but I just want to enter some good words to him to comfort him.
Don't make sense, do it?
Right,
Let's read some more. Where you at? That was it. That's
Yeah.
all I wanted to hit. He's condemned already. You cannot unify that. You might as well unify with Satan then. He's condemned already. Right?
Yeah, right.
And in unifying y'all is Freemasonry. It has different factions and branches so they can think, well, you ain't going against God. All of it's led by Lucifer. It's his eye on the top of all the charts. And how you will know, they will never speak a word against Freemasonry. They scared to death. That's all you have to do. You Freemason? What about them Masons saying this? Man, who told you that? Somebody done showed you that in the book. No, I'm just asking for an answer. All I asked you was you a Freemason, and you going to talk about somebody that showed it to me in the book. Scared to death. They more scared of that brotherhood than the Messiah because they done water them down and tell you don't be afraid of him. Just like in the instructions of Albert Pike, the Grand Sovereign General of Freemasonry in this nation, that said in his instructions on page 225, Lucifer is a god.
And unfortunately,
And when you get to the 30th degree, you have to acknowledge him as God. The 30th through the 33rd. Yes, but he also let you know, Adonai is also God. Unfortunately. So he's telling you, you can join with me, but you better check the writings about him.
you're going to have to deal with him.
You're going to have to still deal with him. This is my world right now, but it's another world coming. I just have to at least tell y'all that. So when you talk about the wiles of the devil, you see how the devil do?
Right.
But he does that on TV every day. He show you boys selling dope and stuff, but he always show them getting caught. He show the informants and people getting killed, don't it? But we still try, don't we? I'm going to be successful. I'm going to retire as a drug dealer. I ain't going to tell on nobody. I ain't going to kill nobody. I'm going to sell all the dope in Harlem. And most people ain't going to die off of my dope. Who is he fooling?
Right, himself.
Where we at?
You're going to be the first one to be successful at it.
Oh boy, look there. We finished that, ain't we, bro?
Yeah,
Where we at? Let's get
verse
back
22 to that
yeah.
Jude.
In that Jude.
Jude, verse 22. And of some have compassion, making a difference, and others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh.
So y'all, some people, y'all, we have to show a little mercy to it. Some we have to pull out of the fire. Some, man, these people are subverting whole houses. They in fire already. They condemned already. Once you get a whole group of people chasing and telling you the Messiah was born in fornication. It's not the point ain't if Joseph is his daddy. It's saying how he was conceived. Right. That's what the angel was there. He was not there about Hebrews 2:15 they try to run to. They were there about the conception. Conception means to make pregnant. That's what the angel came for. He like, look, she's been made pregnant. It ain't got nothing else to do with nothing else. That's the conversation between Joseph and the angel. What are they running us over there to that Luke he talking about? What are they running us over there to that where it says Nathaniel, an Israelite indeed, what he say? Ain't got nothing to do with none of that. What did the Most High say right there? It's plain, ain't it? It ain't hard. It's simple instruction and obedience. Some you got to pull out of the fire. And that means some you can just like, hey bro, think about that. That don't make sense, do it? But like Tuba say, common sense ain't common to everybody. Them the ones you have to pull out of the fire because they won't let it go. But what's wrong with Joseph being his dad? All we need is King Joseph anywhere. So you can continue on the lineage and we can see, we need another conversation with that angel. If it's about the conception, that ain't what Joseph, if it's just about birthing the Messiah, the Most High had to send an angel to let him know that baby was conceived by the Holy Spirit. Don't worry about how she got pregnant. It's way above you. I already told you this, remember? Okay, I got it now. He said, but go ahead and take her to wife, man. Go and make it public now. Go on, do the thing. But notice what he told him, go make it public. Why don't these Negroes talk about the public part? Go make it public. If you running that game, then do what Joseph did next and say, then he made it public. Hey, y'all, marrying this young virgin, y'all. With a belly swole up. And when you get into the Proviangelon of James, you'll see that Mary went through Numbers 5. She had to drink the water, her and Joseph, to see if they was lying because they said you took her in stealth. Stealth. That right? You took her in stealth, meaning you did it back door. You came in where nobody looked. And y'all know what a stealth fighter do. Before you know it, it's over your head.
It sure is.
It's been coming from California, but by the time you look up, it's over the top of you. And that's taking it by stealth. Before we find out, you ain't heard nothing. You're like, what? Right? Ooh, when? What? Right over top. That's when you find out.
Right.
But a public ceremony gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna be on the records. If you need to go check the records, go check. That's how you would never be found to have to keep realizing, or adultery would go away if you just check. But if you ain't checking till after you had the goodies.
Right. It just boils down to personal responsibility.
That's what we're talking
brothers,
about, bro.
It's just like it's a disease out here. I don't know why young black men just think they can just live for free and have somebody else take care of them. They don't want to do and be responsible for nothing.
I thought I was the only one having this problem.
Boy, look here. See, responsibility, that big R, they'll never wear it on a t-shirt.
Right.
Because it's a problem, but we can see here that the scriptures clearly stating that Joseph, when he said he did the correct thing. So we're saying, if you already in a marriage, you done been to the honeymoon first, do what Joseph did, then make it public. Right. We ain't telling you got to do it tomorrow and you got to do it immediately. You may not be equipped to do it immediately. Right. But that's why the laws tell you, if you mess up, this is what you got to do. All the laws about virgin marriage is about the mess up part. Because marriage is established. It don't matter if you're a virgin, if you divorce and remarry, all that still falls under marriage. The only scripture that talks about the virgin is if you mess up with a virgin. It ain't telling you ain't never seen that. And thou shalt take a virgin of this number of years of age. Thou shalt speak like this, thou shalt do like. It's only telling you, if you mess with a virgin, and you start promoting that you popped her cherry, I'm gonna get you. And that's what men was doing. That's what I heard when I grew up in the South Side Project, Peabody House. You hear them, what we used to call them big boys. Man, he said he popped her cherry, and I'm thinking, what the hell does that mean?
First thing you think about that little jar of maraschino cherry.
Damn, he popped it well.
Wait, what's so good about it? What's so special about little cherries?
But what they were actually talking about is the crime, but they were promoting what the law say about women. Exodus and Deuteronomy, what it say about touching a virgin and not prepared to marry. They were promoting that, and that's what these camps are doing. They're promoting that same behavior. I popped that cherry. That's all year. I was the first one to get that virgin. Mm-hmm. My baby, the first one came out of her womb. And ain't no marriage certificate nowhere. Negro, you promoting a bastard slip.
Yeah.
That's what the script called it. A baby show up and ain't showed up right. But the script say if you did it, you can fix it.
Right.
But this is the way to fix it. You can't fix it your way. How you gonna go out and get then 10 more the same way you got this one and this one long break? See, that's what that Jew was talking about, divers kinds of lust. See, that's what them angels had that's supposed to be work. When they looking, they're like, boy, how should they get all the fun? So all we do is sit up here and watch them have fun.
Right. Look at that.
Remember what Lucifer did? Man, he missed me with that, man. I need to get in on something. Genesis 6th chapter, y'all. Just give you right to the point of where they left their first estate, and we're going to move on, y'all. Yeah, because I want to finish these last out.
Okay. 13.
Genesis 6, right? Just where they left their first estate.
Or you just want the
Start 6, 1 through, yeah.
1 through 6.
Yeah. Go down through 8. Go down through 8. 8 is very good.
All right. It's still on me, right?
Yes, sir.
Genesis 6.
Better hurry up on that, get there.
Hey, no, I gotta get your ride up off of it first. I get everybody. Yeah, it's in the front of the book. Everybody there? Genesis 6. Reading it.
1 through 8, yeah.
Reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 6. We'll start our reading at verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair. And they took them wives of all which they chose.
So now some people say this is the offspring of Cain mating with the daughters of Seth, because they look at the sons of God as only men on earth. They don't look at supernatural. But the script calls them Sadducees, because they don't believe in the supernatural. They don't believe in angels. They don't believe in no resurrection. So you know when you hear that talk, them Sadducees, because if not, they got to answer Job 38. They got to answer the stars sang before earth was created. You know, so they got to answer all them. You don't have to. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And the Most High said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years.
So now y'all, we into the state. It's so much wickedness on the earth. It was up to 1,000 years you can live. Methuselah 969. Now we down to 120 years of a lifespan. And now it's down to us as 70 years, 70. And what we're talking about is grace of the Most High. It's saying, if you do right, I'm at least allot you that many years. Shalom, y'all. Shalom. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days.
What was in those days?
Giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of Yah came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And Yah saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
So if this is not an angel, but it's Seth's line, Adam's line through Seth, if this is only talking this, the problem is, it's saying they were evil, so you would have to say that all of Seth's line up into Noah, nobody committed sins on that side of the line. Well, we know that ain't the truth.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 6. And it repented the Lord that he had made a man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Most High said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High.
Y'all read all that red, but see what grace is? See, they think grace just happened. Grace ain't just started with Paul talking about grace. Noah found what?
Grace.
Where is this at? What book? The Old
Genesis. Old Testament.
See, so y'all, grace always been around. Ain't nothing changed with the laws. And what we're talking about is if giants in these days, if men make giants like that, then every time you get with a wicked woman or something like that, a son of Cain, then we first have to get Cain descendants on the ark for it still to work today. His sons have to be on the ark, which they were not. And not only that, giants in the day, they bare children, the same became mighty men, which were men of renown. But that came from evil, wickedness. And if men did that, you got a question out there. If men did that, and that was the sign that that's what God was talking about, Cain and Abel's lineage, we got a serious problem after this. Because the law, well, who did Moses marry? It was legal, wasn't it? Who did Abraham marry? Didn't he marry Hagar?
Yeah.
And he kept the commandments. How was that such? Then they were daughters of the nations we were told not to go near, right? So why is that not the same situation here? Why wasn't Abraham destroyed then? If you go outside your race. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. If he, in the law, it says, as long as they follow you, and then 1 Corinthians 7. If them be pleased to dwell with you, don't do what?
Put them away.
It can't mean that was the sons of Cain and the sons of Adam. Because it stops at the ark. 8 people got on the ark. Was Cain descendants on the ark? You know what some try to say? He got on there as a beast. Then we still need 2 pairs of them. We still need 2 pairs of the unclean. We still need 2 pairs. Shit. Go boy, look here. They'll go with that, boy. So y'all, that's the stopping point. Is the ark. You can't make him back into Esau's lineage. Cain was done at the flood. Anything he knew was done at the flood. What you got, bro?
Kenneth wants to know, was Shem, Ham, and Japhet triplets?
Triplets? No, you see it in the birth order. When you get to the book of Yahs, it tells you who was born first and the birth order, and it tells you the year and ages, how old Noah was when he birthed them.
Right. He was misreading the Genesis 5 and 32 right there, where it says he begets Shem, Ham, and Japhet, and it sounds like the same time.
It sounds like the same time?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they was alive. They got on the ark. They helped build the ark.
Right.
You know, they wasn't no little bitty boys. They had wives.
Right.
You know, so they got on the ark. They were full. They knew Ham just tripped.
Right.
And it's not Noah had a yellow son, a white son, and a black son.
Right.
Like the churches teach. These are the 3 makeups of the world: brown, or what? Yellow, white, and black. And you know who they saying the black go to?
Had to have a Chinese one in there.
See, the Latter-day Saints say the same thing. We are mud people.
Yeah,
Cursed people. But yet they call the Indians the Israelites, and you got these One West camps chasing that Latter-day Saint doctrine, and they'll grab the Israelite part, but they ain't saying nothing about them calling us mud people.
Yeah.
Cursed of the law.
Couldn't he be a priest, I think, until, was it 1972?
Boy, look here. Y'all, so it ain't hard, y'all. All we need you to do is show us how they got on the ark. We heard they got on there at beasts. Then what changed them back to ruling the world?
Right.
How did they go from a beast like Cain to ruling the world again? What you got, bro?
They sent me over to this place, you gotta be over here, it's a pressure package, right? Because the place was so secure and all this stuff. I get in there, everybody's so relaxed. So, you know me, TT ain't no shut up.
Right.
So I got 3 of them in the back.
Right.
We became 5. Next thing you know, the whole facility gravitating toward, we have a church, right?
Right.
Guess where I'm standing at in this but secure building. Looking around at all these idols, statues, symbols.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about ancient. A Jesuit storehouse. A Jesuit storehouse.
Right.
And I mean, stuff was in there, it was like, and I dude seen me when I looked around, I stopped and I froze, and then I did the 360 turn like I was a tourist in Miami.
Right.
And he saw me do like this, he said, don't reach for that. I said, what you talking about? I said, my butt was itching. He said, man, you finna get your phone and start taking pictures. I said, yeah. You know,
Oh, look here. Yeah, it probably was itchy when they were buzzing.
They let me go because I was showing for the video that. Like,
But y'all, you know, y'all, it's all it is y'all continual evil in the thoughts of men. That's what it is today, y'all. This is why we just trying to stay on the course, y'all. Continual thoughts of evil, y'all. And what's happening is, y'all, we coming down to worshiping of those same stars, moon, because you're being misled that only mean a man. Well, if you still worshiping a man as a star, it's still a problem. Just like Jude said, it's still a problem. Men worshiping. Y'all, that plague will make Corona look like a sneeze. Man worship. Y'all, that's the biggest plague. The Most High say that plague will take your breath out of your life. That's what he told Job, didn't he?
No flattering titles.
No flattering titles. The most reverend good doctor. What does that mean? The most reverend good doctor.
So you the most scariest good doctor?
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay.
Where we at, y'all? We finished that. That's all I wanted. That's Genesis 6, y'all. Y'all give me Obadiah quick, verse 1 and 4, y'all. And I just want to hit that, y'all. And then we're gonna move right into the law of it. And I just want to get to what got us thrown out of the kingdom, because everybody say you can't say Jesus because you're not saying the name of the Lord. Well, these scripts say this what got us through out of Jerusalem, and it wasn't saying Jesus. We're gonna see what got us through out of Jerusalem. Got us kicked head first out of there.
Obadiah 1 through 6, you said?
1 through 4, yeah. It's just one chapter, y'all, and this is just to deal with the sun and the moon again, so we don't get misled of what they can do, where they set their nest. Where they set their nest. Right after Amos, y'all.
Say, Daniel, was there a giant after the ark? No.
Was there giants after the ark?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, but they were nowhere near the height, because we know the spirits passed over, but the wickedness that was in Canaan, it was only Canaanites that were producing them. Goliath and all of them, Nephilim, them was the ones we was told to stay away from, because they had a lock on Jerusalem. Y'all, whether y'all believe it or not, Jerusalem is the most supernatural place on earth. Whoever rules Jerusalem rules planet Earth. That's why the fight is for Jerusalem. Ain't nobody fighting for America.
Sure.
Russia ain't come out coming here and take over China.
Right.
But everybody wants Jerusalem, because it's the navel of planet Earth. It's the center of the world. Supernatural things go on. But it's also was the land of Canaan where the most wicked things go on. The Garden of Eden was right there. So when you're dealing with a evil, wicked person, you have deformities when evil is being done like that. You're going to have monstrosity. That's what the size that we get. That's why Goliath has 6 fingers and 6 toes. 6 and 6. That's where you keep reading the description of them, because they were dealing with people that was in the dark side of the most wickedest things you can get, and it produced offspring like that, because they'll have you mate with this person and mate with that person, and you're going to produce something. Like if you made a tiger and a lion together, you're going to get a liger with a head this big. It'll be a monstrosity. All y'all have to do is look up, they got them now. Liger, but they can't reproduce. They go sterile. So in like manner, this is what's happening right here. You mix that with that bad seed from Canaan, it will produce an offspring like that. That's how you knew. But see, just like when you read the 106th chapter of Enoch, when Noah was born, he scared his daddy to death. He like, wait a minute, he had to go through, man, my son, he looked like one of them angels. He like, man, don't worry about that, let's go see. And when they saw his face go, because Noah was an albino.
Shining like
the sun. And he had a rosy red face. They're like, no, he's glowing like an angel. Like, no, that's from the Lord right there. That's from the Lord. He's not a fallen angel. And this is the language I'm talking about. See, that's what they said. That's what Methuselah them said. He said, our son, he had to run to him. He said, my son looked like one of them fallen angel children. This the offspring of him. And they had to go correct that, y'all, so the language let you know what was happening back then. That wouldn't have scared him. He just said, man, my boy born looked like Cain's grandson, and got up in here. Damn. What you got, bro?
So that make you think that these women over here in the Middle East over here burn these monsters.
Look, boy, that's what we talking about, y'all. And that's why we get into that worship, y'all. Because when you look at the Daily Mail, they got monstrosities, 2 heads, 3 legs, 4 arms. It's always coming out of India and different places like that. That's taking on the culture.
Well, those demonic spirits because there's one video I see on YouTube where they talk about haunted places and things like that. And they showed these 2 Indian cats sleep in this bedroom. One was on the bed and one was on the floor. And the one that was on the floor, a demon picked him up by his feet and drug him out the room. He was still asleep. He just laying there, and all of a sudden you could just see the force that he grabbed him by his feet and lifted him up and drug him out the room, and he didn't even know what was going on, but there's nobody standing there. And so you see that all of these things that these people are into, that's why them demons run so high with them, because you welcoming them in,
right,
and you're not following the Most High. So they got free reign with you. You know, you worshiping elephants and 6-headed women and things like that. What do you expect?
Got a couple
Give me a real quick, y'all, so we can clear this up, then I'll get that question. Give me the book of Tobit, 8th chapter, real quick. And this is Tobit's wife that was going to be given to him. But there was a demonic spirit that had already killed 7 men. Now, either there's there's a son of Cain then sitting in the wedding chamber like this. Yeah, as soon as he pull his drawers off, I'm gonna kill his ass. He gonna be number 7. It's either that or it's a demonic spirit. One or the other, ain't it?
Exactly.
You can't have it both ways.
Right. What you want in?
Give me book of Tobit 8, 1 through 8.
1 through 8?
Yeah. Hold that book of Tobit up. Y'all in the book of Tobit. People, oh, you got the clock back there? Yeah. And this is after y'all read into 2nd chapter. Not only this, but an angel was sent to him named Azarias that transformed himself to look like the family members. Called Tobias, Tobit's daddy, asked me, he said, where you from? He said, I'm y'all people. He like, who you from? And he started, he said, I'm Azariah. He said, I'm from that stock. So he said, I'm actually one of the boys that was with Daniel in Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, bad Negro, whose names were Azariah, right, and the Hebrew name.
Right.
So he said, I'm there. But he's like, I know you is family. Right. Now this is an angel. And when we see what he's doing, you know this ain't man, because man ain't doing this. The things that this angel was doing. Where we at?
Verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And when they had supped, they brought Tobias unto her.
See, now, this is the wedding feast. And when they had done what?
Sup,
what's first? Eating first, the feast. So everybody enjoy. Marriage is a feast. It's a joyful occasion. It's a commandment keeping that everybody should be a part of and see. Go ahead. What else to say?
Verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And as he went, he remembered the words of Raphael.
Who he remember the words of?
Raphael.
Uh-huh.
And took the ashes of the perfumes and put the heart and the liver of the fish thereupon and made a smoke therewith.
Hold that real quick. Just hit St. Tobit 6 and 6 so we can see who this Raphael is. Okay. So we get some clarity on this, if this just some Negro running around doing supernatural things.
Chapter 6, verse 6.
Yes, sir.
Then the young man said to the angel.
Said to the who?
The angel. Brother Azarias, to what use is the heart and the liver and the gall of the fish? And he said unto him, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any. See, a devil or an evil spirit. The evil spirits were left over from the giants that drowned out in the flood. You get into some Enoch chapter 14 and 15 that says, because the angels, their spirit couldn't die because they're supernatural, but the flesh part of them died. That crossed over, and those are evil spirits that torment men every day. But then you have devils. Satan in that 1/3, that's a total different, that's different from an evil spirit. These are demonic beings that still can manifest any shape, form they want and cause havoc on the world. Go ahead, what else to say? Verse 7 again, I guess.
Yeah.
And he said unto him, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. See, so now it's talking about the man and the woman, the husband and wife. We need to make that smoke before them, and the evil spirit or the devil will get the hell going. Now, these instructions didn't say, throw no sage over your shoulder, sprinkle salt around. That ain't gonna do nothing. He like, shit, you just seasoned up my wickedness. Yeah, you did. Come on, throw some more. Throw some more. But let's get back to 7 now and see what they did. It's 8 and 2. 8? Yeah, back where you was. Okay. Because it started off about the ashes. Verse 3.
Healthcare enrollment before back then.
No.
That's who?
Healthcare enrollment.
I thought you said like the man.
Y'all running that Canadian healthcare free of charge? Yeah. We down here. Oh, that ain't what they talking about? Okay.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
To which smell, when the evil spirit have smelled, he fled into the uttermost parts of Egypt, and the angel bound him.
See, because that's where they run off to Egypt. And they bound him. Every mummy movie, where's the mummy coming up from? Where coming out of the sand from? They're bound and they have to get released. Y'all ain't just making up these movies. Like, I think, damn, I'm gonna make a movie of a mummy. And I'm gonna make him have to be released. He gonna be from a thought. They reading it out of these records, y'all. They just make a movie out of it. They change the players in the game. Like the movie Lucifer. Show them exactly like what we just read, but the only thing is they're reading out of the Kabbalah. Because they say Cain showed up there. They say Eve showed up in the last episode out of the Kabbalah because she says, I'm Adam's second wife. His first wife was Lilith. Where you get that from but the Kabbalah?
Right.
It said Adam had a wife that refused to she wanted to be on the top. And they're talking about sexually. So he banned her and she run off. Then he brought Eve, and Eve in this Lucifer movie be talking about, I'm so bored up there in paradise, the Silver City. Where is it called the Silver City in any of these scripts? And all he's doing is just laying around here, full relaxed motion, playing with birds and stuff. Ain't no excitement there. But this is excitement with murder and crime going on in Los Angeles.
Right. Los Angeles.
And then she having same sex with Macedon, the demon woman. What's her name? Who happens to be supposed to have been Adam's first wife. And she's sleeping with her now.
No, her mama was.
Who? Oh, her mama was the first mama. She's the offspring that she's now she's sleeping with the daughter. Or the first mama that got, or the first wife that got thrown out. All that y'all is in the Kabbalah. Same writings in the Kabbalah. So when you're looking at it, you got to be wise on this of where they getting their information from, because they said Lucifer can't lie. This script say he's the father of what?
Lies.
Of lies. So who lying? But they put it out there. They give you bits and pieces of the truth, and then change the language. And ain't nobody going behind them checking. They like, damn, so that's what happened. Adam had another wife.
That's why I don't understand.
That's why I don't understand. See, that ain't even in the Bible. Where can I get that book at? Then you go on Amazon. There it is right there. Kabbalah teaching. Well, do you know what's else in the Kabbalah? They say Christ is in hot excrements. That means doo-doo and semen, vermin, for saying he's the Son of God. That's in that book. So what do we do about now? John 3:18, you're condemned already. What do we do about that? Y'all, we got to stay focused. Where we at, bro? What they saying too about? I want them to finish reading this right here. Go ahead.
I did have a question.
What's the question? Well, go ahead. You finish this. We'll come back to the question. Go ahead.
Somebody asked, was Ham, Shem, and Japheth, wasn't one of them married to a Canaanite?
Canaanite, they weren't even at existence. They produced the Canaanite. See, this, let me just say this.
Daughter of Cain.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
It's right here. It said, did one of these brothers marry a daughter of Cain? Just wondering.
No, because the only problem with that is then you put that wickedness on the ark, then look, this is what y'all saying, then wickedness was saved.
Right.
And ain't no explanation for it.
Right. No.
Wickedness got on the ark.
Right. They were already sinners who got on the ark.
And then you're gonna bring them who destroyed the lion on the ark? No, it wasn't that. They had wives of their lineage that got on the ark. The problem was Ham uncovered his father's nakedness. Now, Muslims, every other group make different rules for that, but the Bible says if you uncover a man's nakedness, you slept with his wife. It's just plain language. It's all throughout the Habakkuk 2:15, Deuteronomy 27:20, Leviticus 18:20, Leviticus 20:11. All of them say to uncover a man's skirt. Reuben did that, the firstborn. He lost the birthright for that.
Was this his mom?
First, Chronicles 5. Well, Reuben went into his little brother's mama, Bilhah.
No, I'm talking about Ham. Was it Noah's wife?
It made Noah was 625 when he got on there. It could have been his second or third wife. It wasn't. And if it was his mama, the devil jumped in there. Just like he did with Lot when they come out of salvation in Sodom and Gomorrah. His daughters jumped on him, got him drunk up. So they pulled Habakkuk 2:15. They uncovered their father's nakedness with drink. Habakkuk 2:15, just like Denzel Washington and the devil in a blue dress. Got his partner drunk, and him and his wife went in the man's wife and Denzel went in the room. But look, how does Ham uncover his father's nakedness and then Canaan show up? How do we jump from Ham to an offspring of Canaan and then he controls that land mass and it's been wicked ever since? The land of Canaan, the offspring, the land belonged. This is talking about Jerusalem belonged to immoral sex came from this. So the first three boys got off the ark, established the land mass in the earth. It said Ham, your sons, every land be named after you this. Shem, all these lands are named after you. And Japheth, you're the father of the islands, of the isles. So you can pass Hawaii, you can pass the Philippines, you can pass that. These are the Gentiles, the isles of the Gentiles. Now, when Abraham steps on the scene, he has the 3 sons that now encompass those 3 bodies of land. So you have land prophecy and you have people prophecy. Ham then was land prophecy for planet Earth. That's why it says in the last day, Gog and Magog will come up and face Jerusalem. Who is Gog and Magog today? Russia. It's still the land. It's not the Russians. Why Esau just moved into that? They're just talking about Magog, that land. Who's ever compassing that land in that day is coming up. If you use Ham and them today, if you use that as people prophecy, then who's in Israel are the true Jews. You can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So Abraham established land covenant. Ishmael, you get all of that. Isaac, you get all of this. Jacob, you get all of this. And that's what the covenants went through. So they are compassing the lands that were given. That's why it's still called the land of Canaan to this day. Jerusalem is the name, and it said the land of the kings, but it's called the land of Canaan. When we get into Isaiah 66, there we just said, and it said, it shall be no more of what in the house of Israel? Zechariah 14, there should be no more of a Canaanite in the land of the Lord. Because Deuteronomy 19:17 say you can't change a man's landmark. We can't take the name of Canaan off of Jerusalem. You can't change it to Jerusalem. It's called the land of Canaan. That's its foundation name. That's its EST name that we talked about earlier. The land of Canaan. And when they're run out and righteousness take place and all that wickedness is moved out, then it should be called the Lord our righteousness is there.
Right.
That's all it'll be called. The Lord is back and taking control of the power of planet Earth, the center of planet Earth, the navel of planet Earth. That make any sense? But I want to get back what they're saying too, but I just want to hurry up and get back to this.
Well, I got one more question, but
Okay.
Well, you'll find when you find out, finish this Tobias up.
Okay. We're in verse 4. And after they were both shut in together.
So now that it had the feast, now they shut into the chambers together when they both were.
Right.
So there's only 2 of them in there, right?
Right.
So if evil spirits are angels, those were actually talking about men having sex. It should be 3 in there then, shouldn't it?
Right.
It should be a son of Cain in there waiting like this. Yeah, she done went and found her another nigga. I'm going to kill him too. And he just sitting in the chambers.
Right.
And you come in with your wife. What are you doing sitting here?
Right.
Oh, he just watches to make sure you put them licks down like you supposed to. What? No, that ain't what happened. Let's read some more.
And after they were both shut in together, Tobias rose out of the bed and said, Sister, arise and let us pray that God would have pity on us. Then began Tobias to say, Blessed art thou, O God of our fathers, and blessed is thy holy and glorious name forever. Let the heavens be blessed, bless thee and all thy creatures. Thou madest Adam and gave him Eve, his wife, for an helper and stay.
For what?
A helper and stay.
See, when you start hearing words like your wife is your possession,
Right.
and then somebody asks, okay, Acts 5 say men sold all their possessions and shared them with other men. Is this talking about bringing that possession in too and throw it on the table?
Right.
Your woman, and let everybody have things in common.
Share her.
So since this brother ain't got no wife, he get a little hold of your possession. See, that's why it don't work when they keep running these things. She's a helpmeet. Not a possession like that, it's a helpmeet. Go ahead, what else to say?
Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, is it not good that man should be alone?
See what he quoting, y'all? We quoting scripts or what? Is he going back to Genesis?
Right.
That's what the Most High asked, should man be alone? Go ahead.
Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
An aid, y'all.
And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust.
For what?
For lust.
Y'all see what this script is saying? He told us, I'm not taking her for lust. Ain't nothing in there. We didn't have the ceremony. Now we in the chambers. And then he said, let's get up and pray.
Right, first.
I'm not waiting to get in here and tear your dress off before the door's open.
Right. Like they show.
They naked running through the door. See, this is the mindset of men. Like, you know how when you see the movies where they bust through the door, clear everything off the table.
Right.
Throw her up on the table and the pants shut down to his ankle and this wild hollering, and then when they get through, now you got to clean up and...
That's what I'm saying. You gotta clean up. Who gonna clean that up?
Boy, look here.
Slamming each other against the walls.
That's wasting food on the floor.
It is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself. And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust.
For what?
For lust.
But that's how we got off the last.
Yeah, we did. Go ahead.
but uprightly. Therefore, mercifully ordain that we may become aged together. And she said unto him, Amen.
See, let us become aged together like Abraham and Sarah became aged together. Sex was long out of Abraham's mind. Do you know how old they was when Pharaoh gave Hagar to Sarah? Hagar had been around for years. Abraham didn't even think about it. When Sarah told him, you can have Hagar, he went to the Lord. Lord,
Right.
Sarah, I don't know if she's tripping or not. My woman want me to go there. He said, listen to your wife. Go ahead and listen to your wife, you know, because you're one flesh. And what he wanted Abraham to understand is that, just like 1 Corinthians 7 say, the husband's body is not his own, but the who? And the wife's body is not her own, but the what?
The husband.
So where is this possession you talking about coming in
Right.
at?
If anything, you possess just as equal.
You just equally possessed. But you know, go ahead, finish reading that and I'll speak on this. Go ahead.
We on this Obadiah. 1 through 4.
Oh, you done there?
Yeah.
You finished that?
Yeah, you wanted to go down to 8.
Well, y'all read on down all of that, y'all, and y'all see where they had dug a grave already for Tobias. They had dug a grave for you, bro, already. So because they knew the devil had killed 7 already, but when he burned them ashes as he was instructed, that devil fled, and Raphael bound that devil in Egypt, and then he made love, and when they woke up the next morning, her daddy, when y'all finished reading the story, they came back with the shovels and stuff, and they say they barely.
Y'all already in there?
And when he came out, stuff like this. It's all good. They like, he's still alive. So y'all, this book, you can't say read the Apocrypha and then say this don't exist in here when we got this spirit right here having to be drove away. By instructions though. Do what the Lord say to drive them away. Ain't seen in here do nothing else. What you got to do about it?
Ron Lemons asked question, wasn't it Ham that committed the first sin after the flood?
Yeah. No, Noah did. Noah got drunk.
When he planted that vineyard.
That's why we're saying Habakkuk 2:15. Somebody run that for me real quick. Habakkuk 2:15, y'all. Then I got to get caught up. Habakkuk 2:15, real quick. So we see the uncovering nakedness with a bottle. See, Noah broke the golden rule. Noah got high on his own supply. And he laid drunk and was uncovered. And then he said, I know what my son Ham has done when he awoken from his wine. Now, the Muslim teacher was a homosexual. So how else would he know what his son done unless he feel back there and say, boy, look at this grease and dung. I know what he done to me. So that ain't gonna work. How else could he know?
Grease and dung.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, but that's what they teach uncovering the nakedness is because they're opinionating. They're not going by the law of the Most High, what it means to uncover a man's skirt. And y'all not to say that while you getting there, where we going?
The Obadiah 1 through
Okay, 1 through 4. But what I was saying about that Lucifer movement, what comes out of the Kabbalah. You know, now the article in the Daily Mail, Eve was really taken from his penis. That's why men don't have a baculum bone. A baculum is a penis bone.
Instead of the rib.
Only animals have, like chimpanzees, different things have what's called a baculum. It's actually a bone. Men don't have that. They weren't designed with this because if they took a bone, then men had 2 penises when they first came. This is what I'm talking about. This is what's coming out there in the last day. Eve was taken from Adam's penis because men don't have a baculum. B-A-C-U-L-U-M. If you look it up, well, I got it right here. I'll tell you what it means. Baculum. Also penis bone, penile bone, or as penis, or as genital. The bone is found in the penis of many mammals. It is absent in the human penis, but present in penises of other primates as the gorilla and chimpanzee. So if Adam was made from his penis bone, that's why we don't got it, then there's a problem. How are we still getting a boner?
And we be saying boning. You know the term boning itself.
Ain't nothing going on. What's that boner?
They go on all the time, they got bones in there?
Well, look, it goes back up in their belly. I don't know how it works. I just see it on Discovery Channel. When it do present itself, it's putting down some hard work in 2 minutes. Whoa, yeah, Joe.
82 minutes.
So, but I'm just talking about how they'll throw information out there, like saying that he wasn't created from her, she wasn't created from his rib, she was created from that. Then that means a man was born with 2 penises and 2 baculums, I should say, a bone. It ain't never in there. It's blood and gorge. That's what get it like that. That's why you get lightheaded. All the blood head that way. And if all the blood from up here head that way and it's in wickedness, guess what? Right. Ooh, boy. You know what's going to produce?
Right.
Let's get some more.
A bastard slip.
Yeah, a bastard slip, boy. Where we at? Anybody more questions? Too bad we got to get moving on. Give me that Obadiah real quick.
Okay.
And I'm going to get homework out, y'all, because we're in the last hour.
Obadiah chapter 1 through 4.
Yeah.
The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high.
So, you know, you get a lot of the caveman theory from that because they dwelt in the clefts of the rocks. They made their homes there. But it's just talking about that. That's where the wise men, that's where in the Mount Seir, like Petra, that's a rock fortress. You gotta look, it's a tourist attraction now. Go ahead, we read some more.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Thou that exalted thyself as the eagle.
Though thou exalt
thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
When they stuck the flag in there, what they say has landed?
The eagle has landed.
The what?
The eagle has landed.
Don't you set yourself up as the eagle. Look, I don't care about none of that. I'm going to bring you down. Your nest is up there. That's the space station. All y'all have to do is go look up the space station up there. Russia docks into it. China docks into it. Gog and Magog are docking into the United States. Now they're in unity, so all this nuclear war talk is just a bunch of talk. But their nest is up there, and they watch from up there down here what's happening on Earth. But they keep adding parts to it. They built an entire city up there, but it's just a nest. It ain't going nowhere farther. Ain't no nest on the moon. It said your nest is among the what?
The stars.
The stars. We can see the stars. That's as far as up as you can see a satellite. How you tell a satellite stars twinkle blue? Satellites are like this color light, and they're just off there, and then they'll be right there, and you come back an hour later, it'll move over there.
Yeah.
That's what satellites do. But that North Star and everything is still be in the same place, twinkling like that. And they sit much lower, satellites do. And you can tell the difference between a star and a satellite.
Yeah.
And then it'll move over here because it's watching different parts of the world.
Right. When I was in Canada, I saw a satellite because there were no lights.
Yeah.
You know, so you can actually, like the stars really look like you can grab them. And I was sitting out there and I just seen one, it would turn red and then turn back white again. And then it'd be halfway red, half white, and then all red, and then all white. It was just sitting there, just turning around in circles, and it was just red on one side. And it was just so bright, you could actually see that color red, you know, and then half of it's red, and half of it's all white, and, you know, it was wild to see that, because I'm just sitting there looking like, to see the stars like that, you're going to look at all of them. You know, you're going to sit out there and just stare at them because you don't get to see them like this.
Right.
But when I seen that satellite, I'm like, that ain't no UFO. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was looking for.
But look, y'all, when we see stars in that element, we see them on the Feast of Tabernacles. When you're out in the woods, ain't no atmosphere, ain't no clouds, ain't no car dust and all that stuff going up there. Them stars look as big as the sun because they're so bright and it's so clear out there. That's when you truly understand the Most High is magnificent, is when you can look into them heavens when it's clear. The breathing is clear out there. Because you ain't got all them fumes, you ain't got, you know, the city is 50 or 30 to 40 degrees hotter than out in the woods. Buildings, all that heat is trapped right there. What you got, young bro?
Why are we cutting down the woods? Why are we destroying the woods?
That's what we're talking about. Those are green, because the trees carry the oxygen needed. And when you keep cutting them down and making everything out of them, you're slowly taking the oxygen out of planet Earth. Yo, it's enough land for everybody. Until you get on a plane and fly over land mass, you like, shit, it ain't no shortage of land. Look at all this space right here. Why ain't they setting up shop right here? How is there a shortage of land?
The shortage because they piling you up on top of each other.
Y'all, let's finish this up, y'all. I got 30 minutes, y'all, so I want to run the law real quick. Y'all gonna hit them, and then I'm gonna give homework on the planets. But I want to hit the law real quick. I'm gonna hit them one-liners. Give me Deuteronomy 1:10. Give me Deuteronomy 10:22 and Deuteronomy 18. We're gonna run that law. And this is concerning if you start tripping and worshiping those stars or men as stars. However you do it, it's gonna be a problem. You cannot talk universe talk here. It ain't got nothing to do with that. You are not a star being. All of that foolishness came out of the Kabbalah. If you hear, he's a Kabbalah teacher. He's a warlock.
You don't want that Habakkuk?
Yeah, if you run a Habakkuk, that's just on the drinking real quick. Well, we was rolling, wasn't we?
Yeah,
Who got the Habakkuk 2:15 where we talk about uncovered nakedness? What hand being? What it say?
Where you wanted that in Habakkuk? What?
2:15.
Habakkuk 2:15. Oh, you got it now?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I got it. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 15, says, Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their naked.
That man, look at, now you understand what Lot daughters did. Put a bottle to his mouth. Both of them one day, they got him so full, it was loaded up, and then some man said, man, that's some bunch of bull. Man, I done been drunk, and I ain't never been able to move like that. See, and this is what we're talking about. This is denying the scripture. How you gonna let that come out of your mouth, and when you was 13 through 18, you was having wet dreams? How do you lay flat on your back with no friction, and the next thing you wake up, your drawers sore like you was putting in the best work? And can't even remember. What do you know? Because you'll think back when you look at them drawers and pull them off and like this, and they crusty like.
I still remember that first dream.
And you like, how did that happen? What was I dreaming? Oh. And God forbid you dreaming about somebody you shouldn't be. But the law, Deuteronomy 23:10 says if you have a wet dream, you have to go cleanse yourself, just like Leviticus 15 say. You have to wash yourself. The problem is, who you gonna tell you broke that law? I mean, you just gonna show them to somebody, brother, again, man, pray for me. Please.
Oh my God. Man, it's in them drawers
Boy, yesterday, boy. And when he throw them, they sound like wood hitting the floor. Boy, he put in some work. In your dreamland, flat on your back. Cause if you with anybody you know with your birthday, I mean, you just think if you grind like this in your sleep or something. Ain't nobody doing that. You're watching a movie in your mind, and you could command. Your missing baculum to go off. Where we at, bro? Deuteronomy 1:10.
It's on me.
Yeah.
Got any questions out there too, bad? Shabbat shalom, bro. Be safe out there. Shabbat shalom, yo.
You already said you ain't got nothing to feed the snake.
Okay, bro, you get on here.
I gotta get back attention to the
Well, look here, you may have to start feeding them like we do our dog. Give them some macaroni, chicken. Yeah, all other animals eat the crumbs on the table. No need spending no money.
I sure wish it was that simple.
You finish that 2-piece, throw them crumbs off in there.
All right, y'all.
Shalom, y'all. Shalom, Mike. Deuteronomy, get it for me real quick, y'all. We're gonna roll through these because I need to get to what got us thrown out Jerusalem and then show the Messiah as the true light and angel and star. I want to finish out with that, yeah. Deuteronomy 1:10.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 10.
What it say?
The Elohim your God has multiplied you, and behold, ye are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. The Elohim your God of your fathers make you 1,000 times so much more as ye are, and bless you as he hath promised you.
And the promise was to Abraham. So y'all, we see that he's made you so more than that. I just wanted to run that how he made you as stars, but we're going to get to the point that where it's saying you can't worship stars. He said as the stars. It's not you are the star. I multiplied you as many stars. When you look up there, it's that many Israelites on earth. Right. So every time they kill one of us, 10 is born. Yep. Kill 2 of us, 20 is born. And they scratching their heads. They like nobody on earth would have got through slavery like that. Soul in the hulls of them slave ships. I'm talking about chained together for 2 weeks on a journey and no bathroom. Where else we at? Give me Deuteronomy 10:22.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 22.
What? Oh yeah, I didn't know what he was talking about.
Who?
Some cat in the chat room. That's why I just kicked his ass out and told him bang bang.
No, right. Start at verse 16 on that. Just read down to 20. I mean 22. Go ahead. Start at 16, y'all.
Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 16. Circumcise therefore the foreskins of your heart.
Circumcise the foreskin of what?
Your heart.
How do you do that, y'all? Do we got to have surgery to do that?
No.
How do you circumcise the foreskin of your heart? Go ahead. That's what we talk about, bro. Go ahead.
And be no more stiff-necked, for the Elohim your power is the God of gods. The Elohim, the Lord of lords.
No, read that again.
For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and terrible, which regardeth not persons, nor taketh reward.
So he don't care who you are and you can't bribe him. How you gonna bribe him with what comes out of his earth? What gold come from?
The earth.
What money come from? What silver come from? How you gonna bribe him with what he set up? That's like giving your child an allowance and then he try to bribe you with it. Right. Go ahead, bro.
He does execute the judgment of the fatherless and widow, and loveth the stranger.
Who he love?
The stranger. And giving him food and raiment.
So he talks about the ones that don't have a possession, a power over them, fatherless and widows. Right? Fatherless is meaning the daddy ain't nowhere around, male or female. Widows is I don't have a husband, so it was set up. The Most High looks out for them first because I have to be their protector now. I have to be there, so we would set up funds for that. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Love ye therefore the stranger, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Thou shalt fear the Elohim thy power. Him shalt thou serve, and to him shalt thou cleave, and swear by his name.
See, you have to swear by his name, by his righteousness. Like David swore when Nathan came to him and told him, this man took this man you land. David said, as the Lord liveth, that man shall die. He said, David is you. It's like he swore when he told Abigail. And when the men reported back to him, Nabal said this about you. Say he don't know you, don't care nothing about you, and you can kiss his donkey. He said, by morning, by morning, there will not be, as the Lord liveth, there's not be one that pisseth against the wall. Meaning a man, because men piss against the wall. If you see a woman pissing against the wall, get out of that.
Or if you see a man squatting against the
out of that wall, get out of there.
Get out of there.
Go ahead, bro. So what we're talking about is you can make, like, you know, like you say, man, Lord, live it, man. I'm telling you the truth. Those type of vows, that's coming out of your mouth. And you see at the end of that, when Abigail did what she did, and the Most High took Nabal, David said, the Lord has avenged for me that I didn't have to shed a man's blood. But would that have been righteous blood, David would have shed no neighbors? Yes, it would have been. You know why? Because when he first sent the messengers, he told Nabal, he said, man, I'm the one been watching your sheep for you. That's why you didn't have to worry about security. I did this for you, I did that for you, and you are blessed of the Lord with everything you got. This is how David came to him, like the Messiah said you're supposed to show hospitality. David showed hospitality to this man first. And he said, thou art blessing of the Lord, possession. And Nabal said, who you say this? What that nigga name is? David. Man, I don't know no damn David. Shit, if he was taking my sheep, that's because he's looking for something. I don't know that begging nigga. And when they told David that, David said, okay, you want to play like that, dude? Okay, we'll see what happens. And his wife had to save his life, like, what saved it up until that point till the Lord took him out. Just like Zipporah had to save Moses' life when he didn't circumcise Gershon. Same way, y'all. And then, but you look at this as like a possession, like somebody you can just put your boot up until they rear end until they taste shoe polish.
Right.
This is what you think, this is what the possession, this is what they were put here for. Where we at?
Verse 21.
What it say?
He is thy praise.
He is thy what?
He is thy praise.
That's who we better be praising. Not no stars, not no moons, not no crystals, not no statues, not no Negroes.
That's right.
Calling themselves third in heaven, fourth in heaven.
How do they convince you
Fifth
to
in the
call
line
them
at the chicken shack. What?
How do they convince you to call them that?
Boy, that's the problem.
You know?
Go ahead, brother.
And he is thy power that has done for thee these great and terrible things, which thine eyes have seen. Thy fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons.
70 people, go ahead.
And now the Elohim, thy power, has made thee as the stars of heaven for multitude.
And when you see out what happened, because he tell you little things, hold on, brother, be careful out there. So what he's telling you right here, he said he made you as the stars of heaven. 70 went down. 70 people went into Egypt. But when you read Exodus, when we come out, it says it was this many. It was almost 2 million people that came out. From 70 to over 2 million, or it was about 6 million. What did it say? But it was millions that came out of there, out of Egypt, out of 70 souls. In Egypt. In 430 years. Y'all, so they scared to death of that. And not only that, but they was coming through hard bondage. But still we had strength to do that.
Right.
We can hold that, bro. I'm gonna run. Okay, that's good. Y'all write down 1 Corinthians 15:51 because it's gonna talk about the different types of flesh and the law of them. There's one flesh for angels. See, and this lets you know that angels couldn't be men because it says there's a flesh of celestial. We're talking about a flesh. It's talking about supernatural, and there's flesh terrestrial. So it's telling you there are two separate entities of angels. If you want to call a man an angel, most people say he looked like an angel coming in here. You still comparing him to something supernatural. Y'all read that 1 Corinthians 15:41. We're going to get into what got us through Jerusalem real quick. 2 Kings 17, 16 through 20. Y'all, we're going to run these real quick, and we're going to run the Messiah. And homework going to be on the good of men.
You said 2 Kings 17?
Yeah. Yeah, we ain't got, but I'm rolling good time, y'all. I got about 13 minutes and 237 seconds.
237 seconds.
What you want to start at in that 17?
Starting at, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, boy.
You said what?
Well, your math is good. 2 Kings 17, you want to start about 16?
Said start at 15?
Oh, 15, you start? Whatever you need to start, bro. Make sure now we get that 2 Kings 17. Y'all, it wasn't because we said Jesus that got us thrown out of the kingdom. They want one? King 17.
You said start a word then?
Start 16.
All right, say
2 Kings, chapter 17, verse 16. And y'all, we just hit right to the heart of it. Like we say, y'all, always go 3 verses up and 3 down. We don't do cherry picking around here. We at least offer that. Back it up 3 verses or move down 3. So you get the full gist of what is being said. If you get hit one-liners, you're going to lose this. Anybody can one-liner and make it say anything they want. Go ahead, what that say, bro?
2 Kings chapter 17, verse 16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord their God, and made them molten images, even 2 calves.
Even what?
2 calves. And made a grove, and worshiped all the host of heaven, and served Baal.
What they do? They read that last part again.
And worship all the host of heaven.
See, they worship all the host of heaven. We saw in Genesis 1 what the host was. Stars, sun, and moon. And there's angels up there. Because it said that's the host of heaven. Go ahead.
And served Baal.
And served who?
Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire.
What they cause them to do?
Pass through the fire. And use divination and enchantment.
See, they use divination and enchantment. Anytime you start seeing some people say these words, and they ain't in the script, I don't care about what they say. If they tell you, look, this is in the Bible, but you have to see, is it in the Bible good or bad? That's what you have to look for. Satan in the Bible, ain't it?
Yep.
Judas Iscariot in the Bible, ain't it? Should we follow Judas Iscariot practices?
No.
Go ahead. Don't fall for that trick. It's in the Bible. Ask them then, was it used for good or evil? If it was in the Bible. That's what we need to know. We need to see the good part, where you showing what you doing now, the behavior you doing right now, rattling them bones and telling them to chant. Show me where that said in the Bible. You said it was in there. You said it's in the Bible. We need to see it. Go ahead.
And sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight.
What'd he do?
Removed them out of his sight.
Removed them out of his sight, y'all. We was worshiping everything that was moving. The host of heaven, y'all, we was worshiping, and it wasn't the Most High, because he said, I'm the host of heaven. I'm the chief host. Y'all didn't worship me. Y'all worshiping the lesser stuff that I made. What is it gonna do for you? It's taking commandments from me.
Right.
You can't command the sun to do what I didn't tell it to do. Where we at?
It says,
You're 19?
Yeah, no, 18, the end of 18. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made.
Which they did what?
Which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight. For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin.
See, Jeroboam did this Solomon's son. Rehoboam was born by an outside woman. It tell you who his mama was, Ahiah or something like that, from another tribe, from another group of people. Rehoboam's first wife. So, but look here, we see Jeroboam causing us to follow and worship everything else. After watching what his daddy went through, after watching David. What you got, young brother?
What's the star of David?
Huh?
The star of David.
That's not it.
Star of David is nowhere to be found in the scripture. You can't find it. Because now if you're asking about the seal of Solomon, but David said the Lord is my shield.
That's right.
The Lord is who I trust to cover me. It can't be tied to David nowhere. They try to make it David so that you wear it. And then we being Israelites are jealous of our oppressor and been provoked to jealousy, so we think it's ours and say give it back. And oh, give me that Kabbalah too, so I can learn them secrets of the dark side. Give me that too. And you provoke to jealousy by people that's no people. And you trying to take that stuff. That's why they trying to take these heathens' kingdom. You can't make no heathen bow to you. When you put your faith, when has your Hana face been on a $10 bill? Or 100? How you gonna take what from who? The Most High say, I set up these kingdoms and I'm going to take them down with the book of Obadiah. So you telling me you the Obadiah taker then? Get out of here. You Negroes, like Jake say, couldn't take a Burger King. They'll sling that hot grease on your ass and you be running down the street more like the Flash. Where we at? That's good on that. Give me Ezekiel 8:16 through 18.
Said Ezekiel what?
8. We're going to run these real quick. Y'all read all in between. But y'all, we're seeing what constantly got us thrown out of Israel. And it wasn't no physical name. Each doctrine has a name. Like it's called the Book of Shadows. That was created by Aleister Crowley now. You have Anton LaVey. I'm talking about top Satanists. That's what we were calling on because we were chanting. Now, when they call on the name of Jesus to try to get tongues, that's still disobedience. It ain't like that them saying Jesus, the Holy Spirit come on you. What they're doing is not what the commandments say. They say we believe in them, but you're not following the commandments. The commandments, 1 Corinthians 14, if you want to deal with tongues, you go this way. And ain't one word in there say Jesus, 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 till you can't say that no more and foam at the mouth. If you can't say that, then just say Claude Van Damme, Claude Jean Van Damme, Claude Jean Van Damme. Coming in a Honda, coming in a Honda, coming in a Honda. Shamarama, shamarama. But it say before you open your mouth, it better be an interpreter there.
Right.
To teach the people what you just said.
Vain babble.
Coming in a Honda. My next question is, why not a Cadillac?
Right.
Where we at, brother?
What you Ezekiel 8, where you want to start at?
16 through 18.
Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east.
Where their faces toward?
The east.
So y'all, go ahead.
And they worshiped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here?
See, so what are we seeing here? Are they praying to the east?
No,
they turn toward where the sun coming up. The problem is the instruction is pray toward the temple. If you in the east, that's why I say they turn their back toward the temple. They still think they doing right, but when you're in the east, you turn toward the temple, not turn your back to it and say, well, we still in good grace. And they look toward the sun. Oh, you Negroes worshiping the sun. You Negroes worship the sun. Here the temple is. You niggas supposed to be looking west. Just like Russia looks south to Jerusalem. They can't look east. And then over here looks from north, they look south to Jerusalem. But they're facing the temple. Like David said in the wilderness when they was carrying the temple, he said, I pray toward the temple 3 times a day. It didn't even give no direction. It just said, whichever way that is. But since Jerusalem has been establishing, Isaiah's 2nd chapter tells us to look from where our help come from. The hill of Judea. So the holy mount from Judea. It didn't give us no specific. It just say look toward that way. Because that's where the temple is at. But these men had their back to the temple. So what they was doing, they was excluding the point and say, man, why are we worried about that, man? Let's pray to what the temple is getting its energy from, the sun. It said they turn their back to the temple. Let's read some more. What else it say?
It says, for they have filled the land with violence.
What have they filled it with?
Violence. And have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose.
What they do?
Put the branch to their nose.
Now we got some Negroes saying this mean they smoking reefer.
Only problem is.
Look, the only problem is I ain't never seen nobody hitting it like that. Oh, woo, boy, that's chronic.
Branch to their nose. They be smoking weed. That's what that means.
Is that what they say?
Boy, look here. Go ahead, bro. Read some more.
It says, verse 18, therefore will I deal in fury. Mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them.
So if we put the branch to our nose, if we change the branch and put it right here, oh, we could. look at them. They said the problem was putting it in your nose.
Yeah, well.
So if you put it here, are we in good grace? See, they can't have it both ways, y'all. This is just the control of men. But they'll let them drink all the cheap whiskey they can drink. Give you $2 and tell you to go to the liquor store. What are you gonna get for $2? Worth anything but some R&R.
Yeah. What you rough and half pint or something?
Rough and what they call it?
Rough and ready.
Rough and ready. A whole gallon for $2?
Yeah, and then you get some change.
And you get change back. Isaiah 47:13. Y'all, it's a terrible thing when people get you to start looking up into the heavens and saying universe and don't say the creator of the universe. He's a warlock, he's a charlatan. You're going to be chasing stars, sun, and moon. Like I say, they got it in the paper now. There's two stars, Venus and Mercury, going to line up just like it did when Christ was born into the world. What y'all saying, this finna be the second coming? And then when you start reading the article, it hasn't been this way for over 800 years. Get back to 2,000 years and then we'll start looking and seeing if you know what you're talking about. But you talking about 800. And the next time it'll happen will be 2088. So if this is the second coming, y'all get ready for the second coming in 2088. Who gonna be around?
I might be.
Go, boy. You could be, bro. You could be.
2088.
If you remove the branch from the nose.
Yeah. Put it to the lips. Yeah.
Where we at? 47:13. Let's get that real quick, y'all. We got to roll.
But what?
47:13. Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 47, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsel.
Uh-huh.
Let now the astrologers and the stargazers.
The what kind of gazer?
The stargazers.
Uh-huh.
The monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
So he say, when the wrath of the Lord come, go to your charlatan and tell him all that stuff you were saying about the universe. Tell me how we're going to prevent the Lord from cracking our heads for not acknowledging he is the author of the universe. Tell us how we're going to do that. Man, tell us the Lord is coming back. You see what's happening? What should we take? What should we eat? What should we drink? Go ahead. Is that it? Four said that's all the 13?
Yeah.
Y'all read the rest of that. You keep going down to the end then.
There's two more.
Behold.
But it called them astrologers, the stargazers. Stand up and save thee from these things which have come upon thee. So you see how he mocking that, even though astrology was in the Bible, but we see what happened if we play with it. Because Deuteronomy 18, which we didn't get to, I was holding that for last, but y'all read it down and he'll tell you, stay away from this. Astrology, necromancy, Buddhism, Egyptologism. Stay away from that BS. Stay away from it. And then Joseph looked at the star. Joseph did the star. What the hell did we just say? It said stay away from it. Joseph got permission from the Lord for instructions on what to do about them stars. You niggas ain't getting permission because you don't mention it. You do not mention the Lord when you're giving your prognosis. And the universe spoke to me. How in the hell did the universe speak to you? That's what we want to know first, because they keep commandments. They ain't never told to be speaking to you. Have you read anything like that? Have y'all read anything like that?
No.
What you got? This next gonna be the sun spoke to me. You know Negroes now, when they talking about they going to the moon, we got Negroes talking about, I'm gonna go to the sun, but I'm gonna go at night. What you got, bro?
So I ate a chicken salad the other day and got a spoon and started going in circles around the bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't see Christ.
Boy, you didn't hear no ringing either. Boy, your ears wasn't buzzing. No, because you were. Yeah. But don't play with it.
But you get what I'm saying?
I'm saying don't I understand what you're saying. It wasn't there. But you don't worry about an idol is nothing. That's what we're talking about.
Audacity of some people to even put that out there.
So you put that out there like this. Yo, the movie Get Out is what we're talking about.
That's a stumbling block.
That, when she was rattling that cup, there was a vibration that come out there, put them Negroes back in a trance. And they locked, can't move, slobbing at the mouth, stunned. All she had to do was rattle that cup. That's what them Kardashians doing. That's why Kanye crazy as hell.
Man, the more older gone.
And the cup, they put that cup on. Now we gotta have that righteous bud like beloved Daoud sing. Righteous buds. We gotta lift that cup. That's the cup that the Messiah had to pass on. But you rattling a bowl cup from Buddhism to move vibrations in you like this, what is that gonna do? How is that gonna get rid of sin? If I shake like this, lust will go away. And then the next thing they tell you, right, is empty your mind out, don't think about nothing. Well, David and the law say, meditate on the law. That's right. Non-stop. Morning, noon, and night, I will meditate on the law. If you let somebody tell you get the law out of there, go ahead and let that other driver take over and see how he drives with no seatbelt on and driving your car like somebody done tore up 10 cars and you give him the key. That's the driver you done let in. You know this Negro can't drive? How is he driving with 2 feet in an automatic? Where we at?
You want to finish that?
Yeah.
Behold, verse 14, behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even my merchants.
Even thy merchants.
Even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save.
That's why you got like that little Dickie Shepherd teaching flee. Now he said, I didn't tell y'all to flee. Negro, you got them $5,000? What you mean you ain't told flee? Now they wandering.
Right.
Don't know how to get back to the U.S. because they done stole or borrowed money from their family, telling them they coming back. Let's finish this up real quick. I'm gonna give y'all these, but I need to get to the Messiah. Y'all write down Amos 5:26. This homework. 2 Kings 23:45. Jeremiah 8:2. Now y'all and these are for the man that doeth good concerning acknowledging what the Most High say about stars and don't move this. So y'all write, that's the last few I gave y'all for man worshiping the host. Now this is man looking at the host or acknowledging the host as it commanded by the Most High. You want Genesis 15:5, Genesis 22:17, Exodus 32:13, Genesis 31:9, and Daniel 12:3. And you'll see the difference in astrology and these different things when they're asked to see what the stars mean. There's difference because you know what the first thing they do? They'll tell the magician or whoever summoning it, I got to go talk to the Lord first and see what he tell me about this. Daniel, Joseph, ain't none of them ever went a different way. I got to go talk to the Lord first. Joseph learned 70 languages in one night. After he talked to the Lord. Wasn't quote no word etymology, wasn't making up words and you still have to ask what does that mean. If you say sleek eye, we know that mean my bad. But you still gonna have to, if somebody say what that mean, my bad, you still got to explain it. Just say my bad. We're gonna get right to the Messiah, y'all, who we talk about, the volume of the book. Matthew 2:2-10. Revelation 1:16 and Revelation 22:16, we're going to close out. Because this is who is all concerning, like we read at the beginning. All of it was created by him and for him with the assistance of his fathers, okay. Son, this belonged to you. Up here belonged to me. That's why Satan didn't care about what the Messiah was given. He wanted what the Father had. Matthew 2. Chapter 2-10. Verse 2-10. Let's get that real quick, y'all. We're going to hit these three. We're going to close out.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 2.
What it say?
I'm just talking.
Okay. So you don't need wasting that good verse, huh?
Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled.
What was he?
Troubled. And all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea.
See, but he said, verse 2, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his what?
Star.
In the where?
In the east.
So the star was going to signify, it was going to move over where the birthplace is. It didn't tell us to worship that star. It's just like the North Star slaves. That's how they found out which way to go north. Right. Into Canada. But it didn't tell you to worship him. It said, just look for the star. It's going to hang over like a satellite over the spot. You drill down like you got your GPS satellite. You know how you can come down and look at a house or a car from outer space? Same way, just like that to the spot. That's where you're going to be. Ain't none of them said the star going to come down and be birthed in a manger. Right. Go ahead, bro. What else to say?
Now this star, was this the same star that Balaam was talking about in Numbers 24 and 17?
When he said the star coming, that's what he told Pharaoh about Abraham.
No, Balaam, when the children of Israel came out of Egypt, and Moab was trying to get Balaam to curse the children.
The one that was rode on the dumb ass, right?
Oh, the dumb ass, yeah.
That was this the same star he was talking about?
Well, what we're talking about is just the star that pronounced a second coming. But Balaam being a magician, they knew, because they were watching astrology, they were saying, when these stars line up, that means it's a supernatural birth finna happen. So that's all it meant. It didn't mean anything else. Just like when Abraham was a little boy, the magicians told Nebuchadnezzar, they like, this boy right here, we saw his star last night. That don't mean he was born. He wasn't no star. I mean, he was already on the earth. He said, the stars say this boy gonna take your kingdom. That's what we see up there. So it's not about worshiping the stars, and it's not about astrology. Yes, it's in the Bible, but it's not to be worshiped. It's only pointing to an event that's going to happen, because they give the stars for signs and for seasons and for wonders. That's it. When you start worshiping them and sticking things under your pillow, you might as well. How you going to stop somebody from having a lucky rabbit's foot in their pocket? How you going to stop a Christian from wearing a cross? If you ordaining a star, that hexagram that they call a Star of David, how you gonna stop anybody from wearing anything and you acknowledge this, and it can't be found in the Bible? Well, it's like a snowflake. I ain't seen nothing, and thou shalt wear the hexagram, for it is like a snowflake. Where that's at?
And somebody put in here
pomegranate. A pomegranate.
The lily and the snowflake.
The lily is on the temple. That's a flower. Go get a lily out of Snooks right now. They sell lilies. That's a flower. That's the rose of Sharon. That ain't no hexagram. Ain't nobody been. Where it say wear a lily around your neck? Let's get that in. Where it say wear a lily? Hey. Where it say wear a pomegranate?
Say worship.
I was eating some pomegranate the other day and only got half of it because I ain't got the same teeth strength no more. Them seeds in that boy wore me out as half of that pomegranate. And I ain't felt no power from it. Only thing I felt was power when I made that deposit in the Mississippi River. That's all it did for me. Cleared it out. Shalom. Go ahead, let's finish these up. Where we at? You made it to 10 yet?
No.
Okay, I ain't gonna stop you no more.
Verse 5. And they said unto him in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet.
Who is it written by?
The prophet. And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not thou the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared.
What time the star appeared? Y'all, we have blood moons that's going to appear. The moon ain't going to give its light. It said the Messiah was going to be dark for 3 days, just like in Egypt. It was dark for 3 hours. You know, so all that was already prophesied what was going to be happening at Messiah's death and his second coming. So we know what the sun and the moon is going to do then. But anything else, that don't mean we go start chasing every time it's an eclipse.
No.
Do we? White folks say when they pull their pants down and hang out the window, they shooting the moon. So what do a Negro do if he ride by? What, he shooting an eclipse? Where we at, bro?
Verse 8. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child.
He didn't say send them to outer space, did he? And confer with the star. Tell us some more information. Go ahead.
And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also.
That I may do what?
Worship him also.
See, he lying saying, I want to worship the king. He didn't say he wanted to worship stars, did he?
No.
Go ahead.
When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was.
See, the star was commanded by the Most High because that was already in there, but it's not for us to practice that. Because Negroes will be making up everything, man. It's going to be a star in the east, and they subverting whole houses now. They be telling you, when you see that star come over your house, boy, your wife going to have triplets. I talk to the stars.
Okay.
Boy, let's hear it. You said right. That's the answer. Okay. Go ahead.
Verse 10. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. You want me to keep going and stop?
Yeah, you at 10?
Yeah.
Y'all can read the rest of it, because all it was doing was they were just looking for the star there. Moses was the same way when he was in Egypt. That's where Balaam was there, in Egypt. He was one of the magicians. He said, this boy gonna take your kingdom. We saw it in the stars last night. Whenever the stars line and they point to a location, that means it's finna be a supernatural birth. That's all it means. It don't mean start getting into astrology, because next is gonna be your sign. Next it's gonna be, if you see the stars line up like this means somebody pregnant. No, somebody pregnant because you was in there without protection.
Right.
Somebody's pregnant. That's worse than a soothsayer telling you it's somebody around you, a fat boy, watch him. And then that skinny boy that come over in the afternoon, watch him too. And now you thinking a fat boy and a skinny boy.
Yeah.
And won't tell you no name though.
I know 10 of each.
And boy, 10 of each. And everyone that come by, you looking at them sideways. This the nigga. When last time, how much you weigh, man? Go ahead, bro. It's tomfoolery.
Where you going to?
We're going right to Revelation 1:16, Revelation 22:16. We're going to close out.
16, 22. All right. We'll close out with that 30-second psalm.
Yes, sir. Y'all please do that homework on the others. And also, y'all, when it talks about planets or even looked at a star, let me give you a little bit more homework. The planet Rahab that was destroyed in the war with Satan and his angels when they were cast down. Revelation 12th chapter, you'll read about Satan cast down when he dragged a third of the stars with him. Back that up with Isaiah 51:9, Job 26:11 through 13, Psalm 89 and 10. And you want to read about Rahab, and I'm not talking about Rahab the harlot.
Right.
I'm talking about what the Most High called the planets that were looked at as stars. And still saying don't worship.
Y'all got a question.
What y'all got? What's up, y'all? How you feeling?
He says, please tell Daniel explain Esther 8 and 8. Please, thanks from Dawiyah, and say a pray for me.
Will do, brother. Esther 8 and 8, we'll look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Might just read that real quick while we get through these last two. We'll finish off with that. Go ahead, bro. We got to get on out of here.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 16. And he had in his right hand seven stars. And out of his mouth went a sharp two-edged sword. And his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength.
So if that means a man, then he has 7 men wrapped in his hand. What is written? Or he has 7 angels on his side, physical angels. So when you look at it, and you know the stars meaning power, but Revelation explains itself. It comes down and say the 7 stars are the 7 churches, or the 7 spirits. Before that, the Bible explains itself. We ain't got to help it. Go ahead, bro. Is that it on that?
Yeah.
Give me Revelation 22:16, and then we're gonna finish up with that Esther 8 and 8.
22:16. Revelation chapter 22, verse what? 16?
Yeah.
Verse 16. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David.
I'm the root and the offspring of David. How you gonna say he's from David and you looking at him like David? You gonna look at him in that same light, and his son Solomon, you gonna look at him in that light. But he says, I'm the root of David. I'm the beginning of David. The beginning, ain't that the root? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, what else it say?
And the bright and morning star.
What kind of star?
Bright and morning star.
So when we read that Isaiah 14, it said Lucifer, the abominable branch. Abominable branch was just a bright, just a morning star. Mm-hmm. But the Messiah here is a what? Bright and morning star. So he supersedes what he was in on the creation. Lucifer, a lesser light. How you gonna put 20 watt up against a 1,000 watt bulb and serve it?
No, can't do it.
And he masquerades as 100 watt. Look, you can have your light on in your house. Snatch the curtains open and see what sun do to the light in your house. You won't even look like it's on, will it?
No.
It's a different type of light. Working on your car in sunlight is different than working with a shop light, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Way different.
If we done with that, give me that Esther 8.
Esther chapter 8, verse 8.
What it say?
Write ye also for the Jews as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring, for the writing which is written in the king's name, and sealed with the king's ring, may no man reverse.
See, and that was just the king, what's his name? So basically what Queen Esther had told him about what Haman was going to do, and when they sent the proclamation, no, this is when they sent the proclamation out, because you back it up to the 3rd chapter, where Haman was ordering the hit, because he said the Jews was doing this, they won't bow down. So he said, send it in every language, every language. And he sealed it because the ring was the signet sign. You know how they stamp you at the notary public office? They stamp it with that seal. That was on the king's ring. And he would stick it in hot wax and stick it on the document.
Right.
And it would have his credentials on it, and you know, oh, that's from the king.
Right.
That's sealed with the ring. That's from the king. It's going to go down. But the king didn't know what Haman was doing. So he sealed something and agreed to something he didn't know about. Until Esther went and told me, like, look, I'm actually a Hebrew king. He like, what, babe? You a Hebrew? Yeah, I'm a Hebrew. And Haman, Haman! Yeah, he fell on the bed the other day crying to me. He gonna pray. And then he made Haman. He said, Haman, the man that loved me like this, he said, another man gonna lead him around on a horse. And he gonna have things thrown at his feet. And Haman smiling, yeah, that's gonna be me. And he made Haman do Mordecai like that. Somebody he hated, he had to walk in front of public with Mordecai on that heart. Broke his heart, but he ended up getting hanged on the same trap he set up.
Exactly.
So Dawiyah, if you saying it from that perspective, yeah, the king will seal our demise, which is coming up. And he may seal it with the same thing. If they don't take the mark of the beast, kill their ass, send it out in a proclamation. I'm signing on it. Just like you just said, Gerard was saying, the governor say, I ain't gonna make them take the vaccine. You ain't gonna make us do nothing we don't wanna do. You gonna make us do something. And he gonna seal it with his ring. Everybody must take the vaccine by morning. You can't go back to work. You can't get no more money unless we know you done took that vaccine. What's gonna happen, y'all?
I had heard they said they was gonna hold the next set of stimulus checks for them. So if you take the vaccine, you get another stimulus check.
Well, we already been waiting this long. We might as well keep waiting, don't we?
Yeah.
Let's wait on the Most High. That's right. Stimulus check be gone, boy, before the sun sets. Boy, look here. Look, 2 minutes. When you pay them 3 bills that behind, and that $75 you owe, you got $10 left.
And need some gas.
So what we gonna sell our soul for that for? That'll be gone in a nanosecond. Hell, the one I got was gone lickety split. Boy, I'm telling you.
All right, family, we're gonna get this closed in prayer.
Let me say Shabbat Shalom to the worldwide family. I hope y'all was good feasting today. Y'all got any questions or concerns, hit us up on the God's Warrior 298 or get us on the radio station tomorrow. And thank all of y'all for all y'all continued support, y'all. We really love y'all for how y'all looking out for us, y'all, because we couldn't get it done otherwise. And look out for the sick and the shut in, y'all. Pray earnestly, y'all, because we coming into them days.
All right, we're going to get this closing prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach. And we know him as Jesus the Christ, family. Long live the King.
Long live the King!
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 32nd chapter, it reads, Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered.
Oh.
Blessed is the man unto whom the Most High imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no God. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. Selah.
Selah.
I acknowledge my sin unto thee, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Most High, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin. Selah.
Selah.
For this shall every one that is godly pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Selah.
Selah.
I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. Be not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about. Be glad in the Most High, and rejoice, ye righteous, and shout for joy, all ye that are upright in heart.
Hallelujah! Selah!
Yes,
appreciate it, y'all. Y'all got a shekel or two, y'all. We greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all.